And a bup. Mike, I like that. And
I
a
know.
bup.
I gotta keep it rhythm, man.
And a bup. What's up, fam? How you guys doing? What's going on? Thank you for joining us again. Our rambles this week. We are the Backlog Chronicles. We are in, for the first time, I'm getting it right, episode 32.
You know
or is it 30, 33 or 32? 33.
We're on-
32. 32.
We're on 32.
I'm not
Executive
fucking this up.
decision.
Executive Decision, episode 32. We got a great one this week, with the addition of a few things that have happened over the past couple of days. So, my name is Mo, Dr. Mo Kalma. With me, as always, is my man, Machine Gun Mike.
What is good, fellas?
What's up, homie? How you doing, bruh?
I'm good.
And we have joining us once again the one-man wrecking crew. That's the only sexy man I know that lives in Iowa.
It's Idaho every fucking time.
That's even fucking worse, man. Jesus Christ, you live in Idaho? That's even worse, man.
I know.
Oh my God. Holy shit. Anyway, Oh my God, the intro. Yeah, we got our brother Kevin. Kevin, what's up, baby?
What's up, guys? I'm glad to be back on. We got a good agenda, and I'm excited. Although it is a trip to hear the intro and be part of the show, after listening to 33 episodes.
Yeah, you're a fucking OG, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I love you, bro. Yeah, Kevin is an OG.
I'm glad to be back on.
Glad to have you, man. We should do this more often.
Hell yeah.
So, Kevin is on a podcast every week. Kevin, tell us about it, man. Tell everybody about it.
Yeah.
Tell them about what you do, bro.
I am on a podcast on Mondays at about 7:30 Pacific time, and it's me and my buddy Gassicles, and we sit around and we kind of do what the Backlog Chronicles do, just talk about games, talk about what we've played, what we're playing, and just talk about we pick a couple news items out and talk about video game news, whatever's floating around on Twitter. I usually, post that on my Twitter feed on Mondays. We've been doing it. We're on like episode 14 or 13 or something.
Isn't that crazy, man? You guys are already at 14.
I know.
See how that shit just flies like
fast.
And it was just an idea. He came to me and was like, "Hey, man, I like the way that you say fuck on the air, and I want to have you to balance out me not saying fuck on the air." So we started. Cool. It was pretty cool. Yeah, no, he's a nice guy, and we have some pretty good discussions. So check us out sometime when you're done with the Backlog Chronicles.
Yeah, for sure. Check them out. What's the name of your show?
It is called "The Internet Needs to Calm the Hell Down About Games." So you can just, it's a long one, but it was just silly and might eventually become something else. But for now, we just do it for fun.
Absolutely, baby.
You guys are on Twitch, right?
Yeah, we stream it live on Twitch, and then Agasicles on Twitter. I think he puts it on YouTube and Apple.
Oh,
iTunes
sweet.
And stuff later too. Yeah.
I joined Monday. I was lurking Monday, and I saw you, Kevin, and I liked your background. Do you have a green screen, or how is that?
No. I just use I use VCam split.
Okay. Yes, we've talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it just allows you to do it without a green screen because I don't have one of those. But yeah, it works pretty well.
Yeah, it looked good. I was like, whoa. Like, it's like cutting him out very well, and it looks good in the background.
As long as you don't move too fast, then it works pretty well.
I got you, yeah. I don't know if I'd be able to maintain, no motion. Even sometimes, especially if we're recording, I try sometimes to do it when we're live on YouTube or whatever. Mm-hmm. I have to stand up sometimes and shake it off and stuff, just to kind of get the blood flow back in me.
Yeah, you do. Oh, you do. You do. Shit. I can tell you're not. Yeah, you can't stay still, bro. You can't stay still at all, man.
No.
You really can't. Always shifting and shit. I like it, bro. I like it.
Talking
Shifting
with my hands way too much.
So what's up, boys? What's new with you guys? Mike, what's going on? What you been?
Man, Mo. This week was just a whole lot of like shit is going down with the game Avengers, of course. So like that's in like a tizzy right now. Like not good things are happening with that game. Developers getting doxxed, where like their personal information is getting like pushed out to people, to the public, which is a no go. That's kind of what's going on with that. I haven't really been playing like as much probably as like should/want, but I've been watching just a lot of lore videos. Elden Ring has like caught my interest so much because of this recent Resident Evil hype. I am like into that as well. Not a whole lot, not a whole lot. I'm just kind of waiting. WandaVision, it's like peppered of Marvel and DC always, you know what I mean? But
I don't know, man. I don't know what to think about that. There's like conflicting things about that show. Somebody tells me they like it. Someone tells me, no, you got to get into it. After a couple episodes, it starts to open up more things. And then some people just, they can't stand it. And they tell me they're like, nah, it's just too weird.
Yeah, like if somebody, I had a buddy tell me beforehand, he was like, the first 2 episodes are in black and white. And I was like, what? Really?
Oh, that's
okay. Weird. Yeah. But I was really happy he told me that, because if I were to watch it for an hour, because they're only 30 minutes long, if I were to watch it an hour and it be all black and white, I'd be like, what the fuck? This is so old school to me. I can't get into it. But because he told me that, and I kind of have the premise of it in general, I was like, all right, I can get into this. And then when I watched it, it was exactly what I expected, and I had a good time with it. But I see why people, it's like way too I Love Lucy, I think is that show's name. It's like
I thought it was Bewitched that they were trying.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's like way too old school for them, which is understandable. But they're at the last like minute of the second episode, it gets to where you would think how it is, without giving too much away, right? But yeah, man, besides that, not too much. Trying to get back in the thing. Like, I'm deciding whether I want to continue Cyberpunk. That's been like a thing, of course. Cyberpunk is always on my mind still. So I mean, the news is hitting hard with it, like always. It's like every other day, it's like, what the hell's going on with Cyberpunk? Holy shit. Or CD Projekt,
Yeah.
But yeah, man, besides that, just kind of smooth sailing for me.
Good to hear it, bro. Good shit. What's up with you, Kevin? What's going on, man? Kevin?
Yeah, I'm here. I was pensively thinking about how I was going to strangle my dog.
We do not condone animal abuse on this.
We do not. I do not strangle my dog. If you know, my profile picture is my dog. I love my dog, but she is loud. What have I been playing? Shit, man. I'm feeling Mike on this. I've been playing a little of Destiny 2. The season pass is on there. I'm like level 40, so I've been dicking around in Destiny 2. I played a little Jedi Fallen Order, which I'm still on the fence of whether or not I like. Yeah, I don't know if I like it. I mean, I keep playing it, but
which game? I'm sorry.
Jedi Fallen Order.
I keep playing it. I
don't know. I don't know.
You're exactly where I was with that. Yeah. How far are you?
I mean, I'm probably like, I'd say 5-6 hours in.
Okay. Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. Like, it's not. It's hard enough to be frustrating sometimes, but not hard enough for me to quit. It's not Dark Souls.
Yes.
But it's also not. I feel like I get to repeat a lot of these instances over and over again, and that shit just doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't intrigue me. Like, I don't want to replay the damn killing 5 stormtroopers and having to do it again, and then I die, where I need to meditate, and I got to work my way back through the fucking level. So I don't know. But I've been kind of in a gaming funk, and I don't know, I don't know what I'm gonna be playing here. I'm debating Hitman, and I see everybody liking that, so that might be a purchase here soon. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm all too familiar with the gaming funk, bro. You guys remember there was like this 1 month straight I didn't play anything. I
remember sad Mo. I do remember.
Yeah, I was like really sad, man.
It was like sad Batman.
I was just like, I'm like, fuck, man. There's so much shit I can play. I just don't feel like it. I don't. I think it was after Was it after Ghost of Tsushima? It was after.
Yeah, it was like after that and just before Cyberpunk
Yep,
because you
yep,
didn't
you're right
want
on
to
point.
do anything else.
I was so burned out. I played Ghost, and then I was just burned out, and then I'm like, man, I don't fucking feel like playing anything now. So I
But I
know
love
that feeling, man.
Yep, I
But
sit
I
in
love
front
how
of the
it's like-
Xbox and do nothing.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
like how it's like, oh, I have a gaming funk, but I'm playing Destiny and Jedi Fallen Order.
Well, you know, but those
I'm
are
in a
like,
gaming
I
funk.
don't
I'm playing
know.
Avengers and Warzone,
I
dabble
know.
here and there.
It's just I'm not excited about playing
Yeah,
those
there you
games.
go.
know, they're
Yeah.
just like something to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. I'm with
Oh,
you.
I inserted Final Fantasy VII Remake this morning, and I was like letting that load today. So I don't know if I'll jump in on that too. So
Oh yeah, you haven't
Nice,
played it yet.
nice.
That's right.
no, I haven't. Yeah.
Okay, all right. That's cool, man. The funk is yeah, you're kind of like shit. What's gonna get me into? What's gonna get me back? What's gonna get me back? And it just takes one game to kind of like take you out of it. And for me, actually, what broke me out of my funk was, if I remember correctly, wasn't it Ghost Runner? I think it was Ghost
Oh,
Runner.
it was. Yeah,
You did start playing Ghost Runner, yep.
Yes,
you
it
gave that
was.
game a good little visual there for me, Mo.
And you beat that game, right?
Yeah, fuck yeah, I beat that
Yeah.
game. Oh yeah, I love it. Yeah, so honestly, with Jedi Fallen Order, I'm with you because that's really what happened with me. Is the whole I played a huge amount of that game. I was
Mhm.
probably like a couple of hours away from the end too.
And
From
you just
like,
didn't finish it, huh?
and I just didn't finish it. Yeah, because even up until that point, I still didn't know how I felt about the game.
Yeah, it's weird.
I know it's considered blasphemy, because I know a lot of people like it, and I'm not really the type to be a contrarian. But yeah, I don't know. Like there's just I've talked about this before, but just something about the game just didn't sit well with me in terms of how it was done. Like I didn't feel like a badass Jedi.
Right.
I felt like a fucking fragile Jedi who can just die at any time, and
Yeah.
I don't really want to
Jedi.
play I don't really want to play a Star Wars game like that. I kind of wish it was like the Force Unleashed, where they just made you such a badass,
Yeah, it's like they went from one end to the other end, like you're badass to trainee where I'm just discovering my powers. Yeah, I don't know, man. And then backtracking through the levels just gets to me. I do not like seeing a level
Really?
twice. Yeah, I just don't like it, man.
Now, are you talking about when you die, or do you? Have
No,
to
because
die?
usually you end up a lot of the levels you end up having to kind of work your way back through to get back on the
Really?
ship. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of backtracking, Mike. It's
not
set
a
up
big
like
fan.
neither am I. I'm not really too big on backtracking unless it's Metroid.
Right, like it's
Right.
that.
And
I
the
need
thing
to go
is,
back through.
it's in that style too, right? It is a Metroidvania type of game. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So there is you can access different areas, but man, just Metroid always gets a free pass because that's one of the father. That's the father of that freaking style of gameplay. So
It's almost like they made one part of the mission and they were like, it's good going one way, but we just need more meat to it. Like we need longer playtime. Like let's make them go reverse through the mission. or something.
look, the game is really well done. It's not to take away from the game itself. It's very, very, very well done. But for me, just in my brain, I just couldn't put Star Wars and that formula together.
Mhm.
Like it just never ever fit.
I agree.
Yeah.
I almost wish it was just a linear, normal, like adventure,
Yeah.
Uncharted type of game. I think it would have.
Right.
That's
felt
what I
better.
wanted. That's exactly what I was hoping it would be. And you know what though? When you first start the game, it is like that in a
It
sense.
feels
right?
like that, and then it
The
trips you.
Yeah,
It's a trap.
Yes, it is,
It's
bro.
a trap.
Fucking Admiral Akbar. Yeah, it really is though. It's because man, I remember the start and then the train scene,
Mhm.
and then I'm like, oh my god, this is incredible. God, I hope it's like this.
That's
And
what
then,
even
yeah.
the trailers made you think it was like that.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing the trailer and I was like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, that looks awesome."
And there's a good story in there. Just
Yeah, there is.
you're 500,000 deaths away from it. So yeah,
Yes, you are. Yes, you fucking are. Yeah. So for me, I've been playing Hitman. I started playing the new trilogy all the way from the beginning. In anticipation.
did?
Yeah, I did.
Awesome.
And the thing for me is Hitman right now is like you know how you guys know how I always go through like a gaming obsession. There's like one game where like I'll just be obsessed with it. Right now,
Yeah.
Hitman for me is that. You know, I mean, and the thing, the reason why I'm so excited is because I had put it off for so many years. It kind of just I really fell off from Hitman. I played a bit on. Well, I played. I remember I played Silent or Deadliest. Wait, was it Silent Assassin or Deadly Assassin? I can't remember. The one that was on Xbox and PlayStation 2. And then I played a bit of Blood Money, and then I finished Absolution, which a lot of people consider to be the redheaded stepchild of the series. I personally loved Absolution. They tried to go with a more linear fashion in a sense. You know, they made the gameplay areas smaller. You know, a lot of people felt more restricted. And the narrative aspect of the game was kind of pushing you forward, the story, which I really liked because that was a little different for Hitman games. But apparently people the enthusiasts didn't really respond too well to that, so they kind of just went back to the drawing board, and here we are with the new trilogy. And yeah, so I started playing it from the beginning, and I'm like, holy shit, man, like this fucking game came out in 2016, and I'm just getting around to it now, you know, and then just playing it on the Series X, and looks fantastic, bro. They're excellent. They're very well made. Yeah, I'm excited. You know, it's gonna take me a while too because I'm playing these maps over and over because the maps themselves they give you like story guides. You know, so like one story in the Paris mission, for instance, is like pose as the model. Another story is pose as the rich Arab and go to the auction. You know, so you have different ways, and it allows you to see a lot of the map itself and what it offers. You know, versus just but the thing is you can play however you want. You know, but I like that. So what I do is like I'll try to play one or two stories in one mission, depending on how many assassinations you have to do. You
nice.
know, but there's also challenges. You know, so the challenges themselves are cool. I'm not going to get too obsessed with challenges, otherwise I'll end up repeating each map like 50 times, and I don't want to do that. Right. So what I'm planning on doing is just doing the story guides or the story missions for each map, and then I'll move on to the next one. Like I'm sorry, 2 nights ago, I was playing the Paris map, and in the Paris map, in the first one, you have to assassinate a man and a woman, and I used the story guide to get to her, you know, which is basically posing as a model and getting your face painted. So you go to her suite and you kill her, but then and then there's another story guide for him. So I was going to go and poison his drink, right, while he's at the bar. But then he starts walking the runway and he's kind of like greeting fans because he's like this big shit, you know, this big shot in the modeling industry. Nice. And I remembered, I'm like, oh shit, there's a challenge where if you can shoot him from the balcony as he's on the runway, right? And I'm like, okay, fuck it. I just shot him from the balcony where I was, and boom. So nice. Yeah, they're cool, man. I can go on and on, but I'm kind of like on that right now. Cyberpunk, I'm sick of talking about it, and not because of the game itself, just obviously because of everything that's happened. And yeah, I definitely did not forget about Cyberpunk. If anybody's wondering, I still love it. I'm still obsessed with it, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a little bit more time until I dive back into it for a second playthrough. So I think 138 hours for the first playthrough is
not
more
enough.
than enough. Yeah,
for sure.
You know, that's the thing. Like before the game came out, when there was like this Q&A guy, remember that screenshot that was released when he said that he played it for 160 hours, and then I see on Twitter, you know, like some guy earlier, he said, I'm about to finish all of the achievements for Cyberpunk in 80 hours. I did not think that was possible, and I'm just like, how? Right? Like, how? I don't know how. Like, I mean, are you playing it just in a linear fashion? Are you not like experiencing the world? Are you not?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like just going from one thing to another. I don't know, man. Like you do you know, every play style is different. That's just fucking boring to me.
Like that's all movement, all like action to progress, and it's probably very, very small amounts of like walking around just looking at shit or just stopping and staring.
You miss out on the city. Yeah.
Dude. You're like missing that experience, the smell. You know, you gotta smell the trash cans.
Absolutely, man. That's a great way of putting it. I love it. I love it. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. And then Yeah, let's get into it, boys. This is
All right, baby.
This is gonna be a meaty.
I'm loving it. That Hitman talk, Mo, got me like, I've played that mission so many fucking times. I'm like, I'm gonna play it after this, dude. Like, holy shit, you got me like all Hitman'd out right now.
Yeah, oh yeah. So the first thing on the topics that we have is the Nintendo Switch. So the Switch itself. This is just going from a VentureBeat article. So apparently the Nintendo Switch was the number one hardware in 2020, which is to the surprise of no one. And PlayStation 5 was number 2. So,
I saw this.
Yeah, now a lot of people are thinking, hey, how is it number 2? It just came out in November. Well, there were more people that wanted a PlayStation 5 than a PlayStation 4 in 2020. Don't forget. Yeah. So a lot of people who were holding out, they were just like, I'm not going to drop a couple $100 right now on this. Let me just wait.
Yeah.
So, exactly. And this is despite the lack of stock, and everything that's been going on with that. So that was impressive too. But the Switch itself, man, I think it's incredible how consistent it is. It's unbelievable. It's like you expect consoles to kind of, start hitting their, to get to a point where it plateaus, but this console just doesn't plateau. And it's amazing, man. I swear to God, like every fucking year it just sells more and more and more, and it just breaks its own records. So anyway, yeah, so from Matt Piscatella, who's an MPD analyst, he basically said that the sales of the Switch hardware were the second highest for an individual platform in a single calendar year in US history. Only the $2008 sales of the Nintendo Wii were higher.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hardware sales reached 1.35 billion in December 2020, and that's an increase of 38%, from the year before. So it's very impressive. And whenever I see this, it's good to see, and obviously I think we mentioned this last week on our show that, COVID itself was a big, the gaming industry was a huge benefactor of COVID, and the entire year of 2020. That's not this, I'm not trying to paint it in a positive way, but it's the truth. There's a reason why. Obviously, people were home. They had nothing to do. They're buying up consoles left and right. So I'm just happy to see this, man. I'm happy to see that the Switch has still got this unbelievable, these legs and the games that they keep putting out. And we were talking about it last week about how excited we are for the next Mario and whatever else they got going on. I personally wish I played more with the Switch. I think my time has been dominated by the Series X and the PS5. But Kevin, where you at with the Switch, man?
You're making me, all this talk is making me feel really guilty about just staring at my Switch.
It's not only me.
No, it's not, man. And I buy a lot of the games, the Mario games, and like Luigi's Mansion was awesome, and I've yet to finish it. But
shame on you.
Amazing. I know.
Shame on you. I'm gonna interrupt. Shame on you.
There are so
Luigi's
many
Mansion?
elevator buttons, bro. There are so many of them.
Each fucking button takes you to one floor.
I know, it's so much work. It's so much work.
He's in a funk, and he hasn't finished Luigi's Mansion. Jesus
and I
Christ.
actually let my son borrow that one because he just got a Switch.
Okay, that's fair.
For Christmas. So he's gonna be playing it with his girlfriend. But
so finish. My bad.
Well, no, you're good. What's amazing is think about. So I think it came out in 2017. And it is basically a mobile, platform that doesn't get half the games, the multi-platform games that are released, and yet it still makes those numbers. That to me is insane. There's no fucking Call of Duty. There's no, there's none of those Assassin's Creed. You don't get any of that with the Switch, and yet it's still selling like it is. It's incredible. I don't know. I don't know if it's the price point or just that Nintendo power.
Yeah.
But
yeah, some of me is like, it's either the Nintendo power, which I'm sure a lot of it is, and then another side of me is because it's like AAA gaming on the go, and it's the best way to get it. Yeah, so to me, it's like a small dog with a big bite kind of console, and I honestly forget about it sometimes. I actually turned it on and played it the other day, Ultimate Alliance 3 Marvel, and I was just like, this is a nice piece of machinery. Like, holding it in my hand feels good. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mike. Switch.
What's
I know
up,
you
bud?
barely touch it, man. I know you have one, but you barely touch it.
Yeah, like I said, I turned on Ultimate Alliance 3 the other day just because whatever, but I mean, the controls, like, yeah, the Joy-Cons are shit, but the screen is heavy and it looks good. It's super colorful. The audio feedback that you get when you turn it on and click around, it's
Oh
like
yeah,
very
classic
nice.
Nintendo, bro. Classic
Dude,
Nintendo.
exactly. And I've been watching my son, he's getting like to the age to where like he can kind of like know the difference of what he's
Mhm.
looking at, like consciously. And like, so Mario is like, whenever Mario pops up, he's like, oh, I like this. So I've been watching a lot of Mario trailers and stuff lately. And I'm like, man, that is classic gaming right there, baby.
Yeah.
Like, you can't go wrong. It's fun. Like, no matter what mood I'm in, I feel like I can jump into it because it's not like super dark or super actiony. It's just like right there in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lighthearted fun. For the family, you got family. Like it's the next best thing of couch co-op. You know what I mean, for the Switch and the games that produce. I mean, on top of it, dude, it runs The Witcher 3. Isn't Doom Eternal out for the Switch?
Yes.
Oh my god, that's nuts, dude. Does it run good? I don't know if it runs good, but I heard it
mean,
was like iffy.
It looks like a potato mode, it's definitely potato mode, but
Oh,
it does
really?
it's serviceable, bro. It does the job. It doesn't look as good as The Witcher 3. I don't know what kind of fucking tomfoolery CD Projekt Red pulled off, to get that game to look as good as it actually does on the Switch and to run as good as it does. It's fucking amazing, man. But yeah, look, man, since we're on the Switch, look, I love the Switch and I'm looking for the next, despite the fact that I have so many games for it that I have yet to actually play. None of those games are the Metroid franchise or a new Zelda. So the next time I need I'm going to play Super Mario 3D World next month because I never got to play it on the Wii U. But yeah, those are really the only things left I'm waiting for on the Switch are Metroid Prime 4, Metroid Prime Trilogy Remaster if that ever comes out, and a port of the Wind Waker HD.
Okay.
That itself will just that'll put me over the moon, man. But
I like where your head's at, Mo. I like that Metroid talk.
I fucking love Metroid, man.
Oh,
You saw my statue last week, bro.
I saw it.
Oh, that statue.
God, I did more than see it on
God,
my phone.
I love that fucking. I just love Metroid, man. I love it, especially the 3D Metroids. I'm definitely a huge fan of the Prime series, so that's why. But yeah, we'll see where that goes. Good for the Switch, man.
I think Samus is hot.
Yeah, she definitely is 100%. And the other thing too is with all these rumors of the Switch like a Pro or whatever it is, I do hope at one point we get them. A lot of people are on the fence about that. They're just like, well, it's a handheld, but Nintendo still calls it a console. To them it's a console. It's a home console that also functions as a handheld. And I do hope at some point it does, because I'm one of those, hardware buffs. If there's something that's stronger and better, I'll definitely take it. And this way, at least, it brings it closer to in parity, with the PS5 and the Series X, because at some point, I do believe that, the games that are going to be coming out for these consoles in the next couple of years, it's just going to get impossible to port them to the Switch, so I that's one thing that I do hope that they do. Kevin, where you at on that? Do you think a Pro is necessary?
I would absolutely love to see a Pro. Based on the sales, it's not necessary.
Yes,
but,
exactly.
But I mean, I'd love to see a hybrid, like where the rumors where the dock had extra processing power, something like that would be amazing. Docked mode give you access to those third-party titles because. Let's face it, it takes a lot of work to get shit like The Witcher and Doom onto the Switch and make it serviceable. So it'd be nice to have some of those other games. And then with multiplayer, I mean, I wish they'd get on board there.
Don't get me started on that, bro.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
It's a fucking shame that you can't play, that in order to play Mario Kart or Mario Party, or I'm sorry, no, Mario Party is better with people by you, but You can't play Mario Kart or Smash Brothers unless you have to use your phone, for that stupid. It's such a clusterfuck.
Dumb, man.
Because those games, especially, dude, those games you need to freaking talk with your friends and laugh and shoot because they're funny, right?
Yeah,
they're fun. So
it's a fun
I
thing.
hope they fix that in the future for sure.
That'd be
That's what I
nice.
was gonna say. If they made a Pro, they need to catch up in that area. Like the multiplayer, the names or whatever, because isn't like a Switch tag like 15
Yes.
different sequential syllables, and it's like, man, like we're good on that.
It's like the old keys for Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
hexadecimal.
Exactly.
I really do wish they'd catch up. I'd almost wish for that more than a Switch Pro. I think that would be amazing for people to be able to be more social.
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you there for sure. I think that's definitely needed more. It's definitely more pressing than the Switch Pro for sure. So here's hoping for that. So next thing I wanted to talk about briefly, since none of us we were talking about that before the show, about Scott Pilgrim. So Scott Pilgrim Versus the World, we already know Scott Pilgrim is a game that was based on a comic that was also made into a movie. It's a beat 'em up. It's about Scott Pilgrim and basically beating up all the exes of his girlfriend Ramona Flowers. So the game itself people have been begging for physical ports for physical renditions for a long time, and finally Ubisoft and Limited Run made it happen. And Limited Run ended up publishing a physical release, which they started an open pre-order last week, and it was just incredible. So they said that in less than 3 hours, they sold 25,000 copies of Scott Pilgrim on the Switch alone.
Damn.
Because it was published for the PS4 and the Switch physically, but digitally it's available on PC and Xbox as well. So
within the first 3 hours, most is that
within within the first 3 hours they sold 25,000 copies just on the Switch.
It's like we're talking about the Switch and like who plays it. I just find it funny. Like there were a lot of people standing by to be like, "Yo, when that Scott Pilgrim game comes out, my Switch is all about it, man."
Yeah.
So that's cool. That's cool.
And the weird thing is like the Switch editions of these games always sell more than the PS4 editions. So what I did is, they're just worth more. Like I got one of the copies. I got the KO edition, which has like the game and stickers and like this roadie box that like it's like a 3. I don't fucking know. Anyway, it's basically. It's the degenerate edition, really. Okay. That's all I'll say. But yeah, man. So for like, and I held off from getting the PS4 one because I'm like, the Switch will be worth more. I never sell my stuff as it is, but I like knowing that having something that becomes a collector's item.
Nice.
Like, dude, it's fucking crazy, man. The Last of Us 2, the Ellie. Like, just a quick tangent. The Last of Us 2, the Ellie edition, right? Which was like the $220 edition. So obviously it's out of print right now, so you can't get it. And if you go on eBay, it's going for $1,000.
Damn,
that's crazy. That's insane. And I have 2 of them, and I'm sitting here scratching my beard.
Nice.
Let's just go. God bless Best Buy Gamers Club, man. Yeah.
Rip.
Rest in peace. That's why I got 2. That's why I got 2 of them, because I had 20% off each one.
But Last of Us 2 is going to go a long way, I think.
Yeah. Well, the collector's edition of the first game is still worth a fucking ton. It comes with like a statue of Joel and Ellie, so that one itself is. Yeah, you're not getting that for less than $500-600 minimum.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, Scott Pilgrim sold a fucking buttload. I am for someone like me who is, you guys know I'm a big physical media junkie. So I was glad to see it. I've never played the games. My only experience with the franchise is the movie. And from talking to fans of the game itself, they love the movie because it was such a good rendition of the games and the comics. So I'm actually going to play this. I love beat 'em ups, man. You're talking a Streets of Rage king over here. So I'm a diehard Streets of Rage fan. Any really beat 'em up like that is really right up my alley. Kevin, where you at with Scott Pilgrim, man?
I enjoy the movie. I have no interest in the game, but I am happy for all the people that are excited about a Scott Pilgrim game. Anything that floats their boat. Physical
baby.
Scott Pilgrim game. So let me ask you: the limited run games don't ever come to Xbox? Are they always PS4 and Switch?
No, they do.
Okay,
So what
just
they
certain
did is
ones.
they ended up pushing, but most of the time it's PS4 and Switch because apparently it's easier. There's like it's easier to publish for those two. I hope somebody corrects me if I'm wrong here, but I remember reading about it once, right? Like to publish for the Xbox, I guess there's like an extra hurdle that's a little bit difficult for them, but. Because I remember the first game I saw on their store that was published for the Xbox One was Among the Sleep. You know that
Okay.
game about
Yeah.
that
Yes.
kid
Yes.
that
I've
wakes?
actually
Yeah,
played that game. It
yeah.
wasn't that good.
Oh, really? Fuck. Well, I bought it, but once I saw the Xbox version, I was like, "Oh hell yeah!" So I picked that up from Limited Run, but that's the only thing. And they said that they're going to start working on more Xbox releases in the future. But as of now, yeah, man, almost every game that's published is always either for the Switch or the PS4. So hoping that at least can change for them. Mike, are you going to play Scott Pilgrim, bro?
I won't play it, but I'll tell you what, Mo, when I first saw that movie, I was like, this is a little weird, but I like it a lot. And I didn't know that it was a game or none of that shit. And whenever I went to go look, this was like back in like 2013 or something. And I went to go see the game or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, this would be. At the time, I always wanted to get back into side-scrolling games, or at least have that feeling of like, ooh, I remember when games were just like real kind of basic, jumping and fighting and nothing crazy, like just the visuals and the music. You know, I just wanted that for my gaming at the time. And Scott Pilgrim was actually one of those games that got me interested in games like Hollow Knight and or is that the one where he's like a ghost looking dude?
Yeah, Hollow Knight. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the ones that are badass, death, whatever, cells or dead cells or like those kind of games.
Dead
you know,
Cells,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
all right, I'm gonna give these games like an entry into my playtime, you know. And so Scott Pilgrim to me was actually one of those games that was like that brought me back to side scrollers, made me more accepting as like an adult for side scrolling games and stuff like that. So with that being said, I thought that's cool. I thought it was cool. I was watching somebody stream. I forgot who it was exactly. And they were like, yeah, we're going to do this thing. And then I'm going to play Scott Pilgrim versus the World. And I was like surprised that this person knew about it even, you know, or whatever. He was actually going to be playing it on that day. And I was just like, well, that's cool. Like, so it's very, very popular. And yeah, I mean, the movie is great, dude. Like Chris Evans, he's like fucking hilarious in that movie.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I really did like the movie.
Yeah, the movie is golden. So if that's what the game is like, I guarantee it's a blast. Like it's a very fun time, at least from what I've seen of it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm definitely going to try it out. It's already out. You know, I think we talked about it with the guys from Jack 10 last week. So yeah, I'm probably going to give that a shot at some point.
At least the first level, I guarantee would be like, if I can jive on this first level, I'll jump into it.
I think I will. I think I will because it looks like a good palate cleanser, honestly. So the next thing is my friends. So Ninja Theory. Ninja Theory basically put out another developer diary about Project Mara, which is that that supernatural game or the horror type of game that they're developing, and we obviously still have no fucking idea what's going on in this game, other than the fact that they said it's going to explore a lot of like the I think it's going to be another one of those psychological trips that they make, and it seems like it's going to be a horror game, and the developer diary for the new one just really emphasized on their development for the game, and they showed there's an apartment that they're using, I guess, for the game, and they showed like the real pictures of inside the apartment versus the in-engine renders, and it's just fucking incredible. The realism that they're pushing just based on this development diary alone is just staggering, man. I mean, if you go to their Twitter page and you look at some of the shit that they posted, it's wild, dude. They show a stove, they show the stairs from before, they showed a sink. I mean, if you take off in engine and real, and you ask somebody, hey, which one looks real and which one doesn't, I swear to God, it will it'll be very, very difficult to be able to tell. That's how good they are. That's how good how fantastic of a job they did with it. Again, we don't know shit about this game. I am a huge Ninja Theory fan. We've talked about this before. I'm a fan of all of their work, starting from Heavenly Sword on the PS3 to what the fuck was the name of that game with the monkey man?
Odyssey to the West.
Yeah, Odyssey Journey to the West, and then obviously we talked about DMC Devil May Cry, which is, again, I'm weird, but it's probably it's my favorite fucking rendition of the series. Besides one, I'll always, the first Devil May Cry will always hold a big place in my heart. But and then obviously Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, and now we got this. So where are you guys at with Project Mara, man? Kevin, what are you thinking about this?
So because I saw that tweet and I didn't even know what the fuck I was looking at. I'm like, oh, cool, stairs. Like, all right, those look real. And then I realized what I was looking at. I'm like, oh snap, this is some good shit. What that translates to in game, I don't know. I've been duped before, but we got some power now, with their new consoles. And I've always been a Ninja Theory fan like you, man. I've played it was Enslaved, Odyssey to the West, and Heavenly Sword. Enslaved I actually found like accidentally at GameStop. I was like, this game looks fucking weird. I'm gonna get it. And so I played it and I said, oh my God, it's so good. So then I looked up Ninja Theory and then I got Heavenly Sword and for the PS3.
So good.
And that was so fucking good too. So and then I played Senua,
Hellblade.
right? Hellblade. I played that too and I enjoyed that. So those three I've played, and I'm a huge fan of their shit. So I am excited for whatever the fuck they're coming out with. I will buy probably day one. I mean, I don't care.
The cool thing too is this is a side project besides Hellblade 2, which we know that they're working on, and they announced more than a couple years ago now when they were acquired, right after they were acquired by Microsoft. Yeah, dude, they've never slacked in the visuals department. All of their games are visually stunning, so I'm not surprised to see this at all. All of their games. I mean, Devil May Cry, their Devil May Cry rendition had some of the best color palettes. Yes. It probably had the best color palette in the entire series, especially like those fucking trippy, those ones where you go into an alternate dimension, Mike. You know what I'm talking about? God, man, their colors are so beautiful that they use, and they're very consistent with them up until Hellblade. Hellblade, it was dark, gray, blue, dreary, So, So they've never slacked in that. Mike, I know you're a big fan of the studio. What are you making on this? Are you going to give it a shot?
I did not know about this. I remember you were mentioning it, and you asked me like, "Oh, you remember Project Mara?" And I think I lied and said yes. Maybe I was thinking of something else actually. Yeah. Okay, so this is the first time seeing these renditions, and holy cow, that is freaking amazing. Like, it truly is. Like, what's the difference between real and fake, I like Ninja Theory a lot. I didn't know they did, well, like, at the time, I saw their little logo or whatever, and I knew they did Enslaved, and so whenever I bought Devil May Cry, obviously, it's funny you mentioned the graphics, because the first time I played DMC, my sister walked in my room, and she was like, damn, this looks real, at the time, in 2013 or whatever it was, and then Hellblade came out, and I believe that when they got purchased by Xbox, they, like, blew the fuck up, because Hellblade 2 is not out yet, and now they have people to start this Project Mara. So either like Hellblade 2 is either, in those stages where it's like cleanup crew kind of thing, and then like let's rotate into the big stuff like our different other project, so them getting acquired by Xbox, I think, was like really good for them, because from what I'm aware of, when I watched the dev like streams or the dev bios for Hellblade, they were only like 50 people or something like that. So I don't know exactly how they're going this route, but man, they're one of those studios that are like, watch out for that. Yeah.
So whatever it's going to be interesting. whatever the fuck it's gonna be, I am going to play it. Yeah, so good luck to them with that. The next, oh yeah, baby, oh yeah. So Hitman 3. We're talking about the game. I was talking about it. I was talking about the Hitman franchise when we first started the show today, and the reviews for the game have been fantastic. It's got some very good reviews. I think an average of 87 on OpenCritic, because fuck Metacritic, and I don't want to mention it. Which is pretty outstanding for it. A lot of them pretty consistent. You get a lot of the same, some gameplay and quality of life improvements, and there's a heavier emphasis on story, considering this is the end of the Hitman for them, for the end of the Hitman trilogy, this current trilogy and the franchise for now, because we know that IOI is going to shift to 007 next. And yeah, man, I've already, sang my praises about Hitman, and I'm happy to see that it's getting more recognition and more love, and I'm happy to admit that I'm back on the Hitman bandwagon. Kevin, I know you were saying about possibly getting into the game. Did you say you played the first two?
I've played. I played the first one, and I played a couple episodes of the first one.
Okay.
And I liked it enough. I just found my patience dwindles on some of the missions, and I end up just being sloppy and then not giving a fuck, and it just becomes mayhem at that point. I'm just like running around trying to fucking hide in dumpsters and dumping bodies everywhere I can, and I can never seem to, shake the people on me. So I'm not against trying out Hitman 3. It looks really nice. I actually enjoyed the I know I played is it Blood Money? I think that's the one that I actually fucking enjoyed, and I know that it's like blasphemous to enjoy that one. But Hitman 3's been getting great, reviews. So it might be a good palate, cleanser, something a little different for me to try. But yeah, I'm happy to see, some of these kind of OG franchises still around, kicking and doing really well. So yeah, I'm excited to see Hitman 3.
Because Hitman really is a stealth game, right? It's stealth. And it's not like Splinter Cell Hide in the Shadows stealth. It's a different kind of stealth. It's not like Metal Gear type of stealth either. It's disguising.
It's a thinking man stealth.
And the thing is how do you not look at this? Anybody who used to make stealth franchises, Ubisoft, you fuckers, how do you look at this and still are not convinced that there's still a market for stealth games?
Seriously.
I realize, with Hitman, you can run and gun up to a certain point. Sometimes you do get your ass decked, depending on, what you're doing and whatever. But this is great because I hope this opens up that door where these other publishers are like, hey man, we haven't put out a stealth game in a hot minute. I know right now it's not trending, but if people still get this excited, and maybe not necessarily excitement about stealth games, maybe just excitement for Hitman games. I don't know. Mike, where you at with Hitman? Are you planning on playing the trilogy?
The more you talk about it, Mo, the more I am. The more I want to play one again. I played halfway through one, but I feel Kevin super big because it's like it really depends on what mindset and what mood I'm in. Because sometimes I am patient and I want to be tactical and think it out and wait in one spot for a guy to just sit there, be done smoking a cigarette, to walk away or whatever the case is. Sometimes I'll have that patience, Other times I won't. So Hitman to me is particular because of 3's hype and the way 3 looks and what's going on with the studios. It's one of those games to me where it's like, this is the best the stealth genre will get for this time. I do believe Metal Gear Solid 5 was one of the best games, to be like, ooh, this is stealth and action without it being like, hey, this is a stealth game and we're giving you some action for gamers who can't handle the stealth all the time. And that's what I think they were trying to do with Absolution. It's like, oh, you could do stealth or you could do action depending on how you are. So, because I know a lot of people were like, oh, stealth game. I just don't, they won't even give it a chance because it's like, they know for a fact they won't even try to be patient in that regard. And so it's like one of those things where it's like, that sucks, you know? And I feel like that's why the stealth genre has kind of gotten low. You know, people are like, even Assassin's Creed, like, oh yeah, forget that like waiting around stuff or that like sitting down for a moment while the dude looks behind him as you're tailing him. Like, forget all that stuff. Like, let's make it, because at the time, like Uncharted was doing good, all these cinematics, like God of War and all that stuff, there's no stealth in them. You know what I mean? So it's like, damn, dude. But to me, I like a good stealth game. And Hitman is one of those. The reason why it was tough for me to lock onto Hitman is because the rhythm in that game is hard to lock onto. Like, how slow exactly do I need to be going? And I ended up finding out like it's super slow because I watched other people. It's slower than what I would like. You know what I mean? There's a difference when you can kind of flow through a mission or flow through an area, but with Hitman, it's so technical and there's so many things you can do and the map is so big and Agent 47 only moves so fast. You know, it's not like this fantasy type of stealth where you're like, you know, like, I don't know, just like getting from place to place, like teleporting from shadow to shadow. It's not like that, you know, like it's like, what can I do with this screwdriver? I'm gonna hang on to this bad boy for a little bit. You know what I mean? And see what I can do with it. Okay. You know what I mean? And that's what I like. So it's like Hitman to me is high quality stealth. And that to me is that's why it goes up on the list of I need to experience this experience. So I know even so what I'm getting into whenever I get 007, because 007 to me from right here, right now is a no doubt about it day one purchase for me. You know what I mean? Because those are the things that I want to see in video games like Predator, you know what I'm saying? RoboCop or whatever, 007, Indiana Jones is another one. Like that is so cool to me. You know, it's that next step of connection to these characters in a sense. And I feel like Hitman, I like the movies. I don't know if you guys seen the movies, but they're okay. They're a little cheesy, but they're okay, you know? And I don't know, Hitman is that big name. So just because of that, that's what makes me want to play it. And then whenever you talk about it, Mo, I'm like, ooh, yeah. I've watched a lot of videos on it too. So I'm just like, yeah, dude, I like what I see for sure.
Yeah, I'm all in, man.
I like it.
The thing is too is the series itself hasn't really been known for its story very much, right? Because people are just like, all right, whatever. That's why I liked Absolution more. You know what I was telling you when I was telling you guys in the intro, because it was more story heavy. So I'm playing the training mission for the first one of the new trilogy, you know, which takes place 20 years before the trilogy starts. And then she mentions his handler, Diana Burnwood. She mentions to him something about Romania. And then I'm like, well, what the fuck is Romania? And what's going on in Romania? And like, why is she mentioning it here, right? I could have just been like, whatever, you know, it's Hitman. But I'm like, nah, I want to know. So I find this post on Reddit about this guy. He's a huge Hitman fan, right? So he ended up putting this the entire timeline of Hitman, right? Like including books and the games. And he puts them all in chronological order, like not just the order of that the games were released in, but he'll say like in the timeline he'll put training mission, new trilogy, you know, and then everything that happens in the games up until the new trilogy starts, which is in the Paris mission, is between the training mission and this. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. So all the missions in all of the games from before took place within these 20 years. Between the training mission and the new trilogy of the first one, and then when the new trilogy actually starts with the Paris mission.
Okay, so the new trilogy didn't like reset anything, like it just continued the story from...
No. It did not reset anything. They just kind of developed it with the new Glacier engine that they had, you know, and they just next gen'd it basically. Right, they next gen'd Hitman is what they did with the new trilogy. And yeah, dude, like I read it and it's pretty fucking dense. Like if you guys want it, I'll send you the link. I think I actually posted it on Twitter the other day. It's very dense, man. There's a lot of shit. There's a lot of background, a lot of lore, you know, that you probably won't even care for if you're just playing the game. But a lot of shit just starts to make more sense. And you're just like, okay. So now like when I go back and I hear Romania, I'm like, oh, now I know why he asked about Romania. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
it's nice to have context.
Flavor. Yes, it does.
Yeah, so if
So
you
you
guys are,
discovered Reddit, Mo. That's good to know.
oh yeah, man, yeah, Reddit,
Reddit's good,
Reddit can be good. You know,
it can be
it's not,
shitty. It could be
yeah,
shitty, but it's a very good place for that exact kind of
yes,
stuff.
that's really
Yes.
what I use it for. I don't
Right,
fucking go.
exactly.
I
Yeah,
don't go
yeah.
to. I don't go to Reddit for gaming opinions and shit. Like I can give two shits. You know, like so. Yeah, but for sure, man. If you guys are ever want to get into the story, I would really suggest you check that out because I feel like it just gives the experience more context when you do start it. So next, yeah. Well, while we're on Hitman, just a performance breakdown. I wanted to go through real quick. Digital Foundry, they did a performance breakdown of the game itself, and it's pretty fucking impressive. Really, how well optimized this game is for all the machines. It runs at. I'm not going to mention the last gen versions. I don't know if anybody cares for them, but at least the new consoles. So on the Series S, it runs at a locked 1080p and 60 frames per second. On the PlayStation 5, it runs in 1800p with a locked 60 frames per second. And on the Series X, which was very impressive, it ran at native 4K, not dynamic. It locked the native 4K for the entire game at 60 frames per second. Now, there are performance dips, which I'm sure they'll probably iron out. The performance dips in the game are they're at specific sections, specifically like the section that they showed where you're hiding in the grass and it's like this with like these purple flowers, which probably are really putting those GPUs into overdrive, because of all the vegetation that's there. But for the most part, the game manages to keep a steady. Digital Foundry was very impressed with the Series X version, and they actually said the PS5 version was put on 1800p for stability, but they felt like they can probably push it a little bit more, so they can probably give it more. But it seems like IOI was just kind of like, okay, let's just keep it, where it is, because they were probably just pretty happy with it. So I am glad to see this, because this it really shows me that when developers actually take the time to optimize for these new machines, they can squeeze out a lot. If anybody has looked at the new Hitman games, and especially the third one, the games are absolutely gorgeous. They don't even have ray tracing right now, but they have this amazing implementation of screen space reflections, which looks just as good as ray tracing, depending on how well it's implemented. Kevin, did you see the Digital Foundry breakdown?
Oh yeah.
I know I know you're into that type of shit, man. What did you
I
think?
love that shit.
What did you think, bro?
I thought it did great, and I am as excited as you to see developers really take advantage of the power of the PS5 and the Series X.
Yeah.
I really like to see that. I like stable 60 frames. I mean, 60 frames a second, native 4K. That's impressive. That's
Yes.
and for it to look sharp, and
yes.
John from Digital Foundry just could not stop saying how sharp and amazing it looked.
Yes.
So
yes.
I mean that excites me. What makes me wonder is I was impressed with the Series S being able to do 1080p at 60 frames a second for a $300 console. However, it also makes me worry about people, if you have a nice 4K screen, you need to be saving up for a Series X or a PS5 because 1080p only really looks good on a native 1080p screen.
Yes.
Upscaling it would destroy, a game like Hitman. So
absolutely.
Just be aware of that. But overall, I mean, God, 4K 60 frames a second on a console. In a game with like a ton of NPCs, a ton of vegetation, that it warmed my heart to see the consoles perform so well.
That's what we want, man. That's what we've been waiting for.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Oh yeah. Mike, what's up, man? Does that tickle your loins a bit?
It does. I didn't watch the Digital Foundry one. I saw another YouTuber did a comparison. And so whenever you mentioned the Glacier engine, Mo, I was interested in that. And IOI created that themselves back in the day, and they've just redone it up until now. And it was funny too, because when I was watching that comparison video, I was very, like I told you earlier, I was very interested in how they could be, if you have the first 2 games, you can just load it onto the third game. And I was like, with the third game's enhancements and adjustments and stuff, I was like, okay, so how would you be able to do that? Like, they either planned for that, or something about their engine that they're using is a good way to just keep building on top of that, basically.
Right.
Because it's like you got the play space, you got the NPCs, you got the structures of what you're doing, and then you got the mechanics of 47, drop in, drop out, whatever, like your secret stashes or whatever. And it's like, with the graphics they have, which are stellar, by the way, the lighting, like how the sun was like beaming through the trees and stuff, I was just like, man, this looks good. He was walking through some mansion or something like that in the third one, maybe level 1 or something. Yeah. And I was just like, God damn it, dude. I know I always kind of get like, make fun of Mo for being like, yeah, I'm not like too big into that or whatever. But when I saw that video, and now that you guys are talking about it, I'm like, man, I'm very, very appreciative of that power and the look and that kind of stuff. Like I can't because it just, like, to me, it's like, oh, I don't care what the game looks like. I care how it plays, kind of thing, but I don't think that story, I think that story is changing for me, because even here recently, I'm just like, man, fuck 1080p, man. I'm tired of this. Like, I want to look at my screen and be like, oh, that looks good. I don't want no fuzz anymore, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, Mo is rubbing off on me, but I see it though. You know what I mean? I see it. And it's nowadays where it's like, that's going to become commonplace for any type of person purchasing video games. I feel like I get surprised when I see people still buying DVDs, man. Like, even now, Blu-rays are just like, that's last year or whatever.
I still do.
I haven't in a while.
Old man Mo and his DVD and VHS collection.
You buy DVDs, Mo?
The 4K discs, but yeah, I do have.
Okay, yeah. I buy physical movies as well. Yes, for sure. But Blu-rays and DVDs specifically, like, I still see people buying DVDs.
If a movie is not available in 4K, I'll get it on Blu-ray.
Okay.
Yeah, like Scott Pilgrim. I remember it was on sale a few months ago on Blu-ray for like $5 or $6, and it's not available in a 4K physical format. So I just bought it on Blu-ray.
Okay, I like a good Blu-ray collection. I have a nice little Blu-ray collection myself. So
it's nice to just stare at it.
I'm like, what should I watch? I got like a whole slew, like a whole.
You dust it off occasionally.
It's like looking proudly at your children.
Yes.
That's how my game collection is too, man. I just stare at it. My wife is always like, well, what are you going to do with all this? I'm like, you know what? Just leave me be and let me stare at them in peace, okay?
Like in-game icons, whenever they make like icons for your characters and menu icons and stuff, it's like in-game icons, but in real life. You can just use your hands.
Exactly. So yeah, dude. Yeah, good to see, man. Hopefully, I'm just excited for their 007 game, and we'll see how they do with that.
Man.
Yeah, they definitely have the foundation there. Just deviate a little bit back to the Switch. So Apex Legends, which is a very popular battle royale, 3-team battle royale. Apparently, it's coming to the Switch now. Last year, the Switch version was delayed because of COVID, but it looks like that port is arriving soon. Apparently, it was a release date that was accidentally slipped out during the promotions for Season 8. Apparently, it's supposed to release on February 2nd, and it's good. I think it'll scale. I think it'll play pretty well on the Switch because for the Titanfall games and the Jesus, man, I can't even think right now. Yeah, for the Titanfall games and for Apex Legends. So what Respawn did is they used the Source 2 engine, which is very old. The Source 2 engine was the engine for wasn't it first used for Half-Life 2, Kevin?
Yep, Half-Life,
Yeah.
Counter-Strike.
Wow. Yeah. But what they did is they just reiterated on it, and they just made it look so nice and beautiful.
Wow.
I mean, look how beautiful Titanfall 2 looks. You know what I mean? So the engine.
Smart.
Yeah, there's really some magic with that engine, man. It's very, very scalable. It's just like the Call of Duty engine. You know, they keep iterating on it over and over, and it
I mean,
always looks to
it
impress.
basically made Gabe, Gabe and
Yes.
Steam and all that.
Yes,
So yeah, it's
yes.
a pretty good engine.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. So I think it'll scale pretty well to the Switch. It'll perform pretty well, considering that the engine itself is not very intensive, on hardware. So I don't know. How good it's gonna play is another thing. I don't think you can play Apex Legends using the fucking Joy-Con.
Oh god, that'd be terrible. That would be terrible.
Yeah.
I wonder how it's gonna do for multiplayer. Like, will it be cross-play with other Apex, Legends on consoles, or is it just gonna be Switch players? That'd be interesting.
I think they will. They're gonna end up doing. It'll be funny, man. If they do cross-platform with PC as well. Jesus Christ, what a fucking massacre! Can you just imagine? Can you imagine? You on a Switch going up against PC players. Me personally, I don't. I know. I know there's definitely an advantage that PC players have with that kind of shit. That much is certain. I used to game on PC, so I definitely know mouse and keyboard is a lot more accurate than a controller. But with my experience on some cross-gen games, especially now, whether I'm playing on PS5 or Xbox, I don't necessarily feel it. I don't necessarily even when I see that there's people on PC that are playing with us in the lobby, whenever I play against them, I hold my own. I don't feel like I'm just completely getting wiped with. I feel like there's like this really big, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't even remember. I can't think of it right now. But basically, there's like this really misconception. At least in my opinion, this is my opinion. I feel that there's like this really big misconception when you're playing against PC players. It's just like, oh my god, we're gonna fucking get wiped with. Yeah, we're gonna get wiped with. But realistically, man, if you're good at the game with a controller, I swear to God, I really feel like I can hold my own against PC players.
That's all I was gonna say, Mo. You're good at first-person shooter games on controller.
I mean, I'm decent, man. It's because I've been playing them for so long.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I was gonna say. It's like your player skill though is pretty high. Like your experience, you're a veteran on gaming in general. You know what I'm saying? So you get like how certain games feel in the hand, what are good movements, and what connects whenever I like click down the button. You know what I'm saying? You're savvy in that path. But if you're going up against a 20-year-old who don't know the difference, you know what I'm saying? They are going to think that because they watch streamers all day, they're influenced by these guys. Like, well, look what they can do. Oh my god, like, oh, that's the meta. That's the meta because he's using it. It's like, no, bro.
Dude,
what I mean? I think the same way as you, Mo. I'm like, I don't see none of that shit. And if I do get whooped, it's because they're cheating.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was going to say that's my concern. Is the PC platform is so much easier to cheat on, and that's even recently games like the Division 1 and the Division 2 were plagued by cheaters, and it kind of ruined the game. So that's my only problem. Otherwise, I feel like I hold my own even in COD or any of those competitive games. It's not as bad as it once was. Of course, there'll always be the one PC player, the sweaty, that comes in and gets 172 kills, but
dude,
but those are rare.
It's fucking crazy, man. I swear to God, especially the young guns right now, the guys that are playing it, dude. There's this 18-year-old kid. He's one of my friends' his first cousin. I mean, dude, this kid gets. I swear to God, I'm not fucking bullshitting you. He'll get about 15 to 20 kills in a Warzone match, in a fucking Warzone match. Like, I mean, and this is with a controller. I mean, it's unbelievable. Sometimes I'm just like, I'm not bad. I'm actually decent. But then, like, you come across shit like that, you're just like, fuck, man. I'm getting older, and this is never. Yep. This is going to be the best I do. So, so it's really crazy. It's Anyway, but the good to see it coming to the Switch. Just like
for the Switch.
Yeah, for sure, man.
The only battle royale in that game is Fortnite, isn't it?
Yes.
Or on the Switch, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it'll do good on the Switch because it'll be that first person battle royale, like it because Apex feels really, really good.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
does. It does,
the
man.
movement feels good, the shooting feels good, it all feels
Yeah.
really good. So I think it'll do big,
Oh.
and it'll just up that company more because
Well,
the skins,
because
money,
dude,
and
don't
stuff.
forget, man, the guys at Respawn, they were the fathers. They're the fathers of Call of Duty. You know, so
Oh,
they
really?
know. Oh yeah,
Really?
dude. Yeah, they
I
were
just know
fucking.
them for Titanfall.
No, man, they were Infinity
Oh.
Ward. Yeah, it was.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was Jason West and Vince Zampella. They were basically the heads of Infinity Ward.
That's why
And
that
then
shit-
after Modern Warfare 2 became just such a fucking global phenomenon, apparently
I
they
love
just
that.
bought heads with Activision. They didn't give them royalties or bonuses that they were promised or some shit.
Okay.
So they ended up leaving and signing a contract with EA, and that's why they called the studio Respawn. You know, so
Wow.
and they ended up taking like 75% of the studio with them, like because nobody wanted to work for Activision at the time.
Oh shit.
That's really when Activision became the shitty big brother. It was really at that point when everybody was like, fuck Activision. You know, because once the whole public spat happened, this is another fucking tangential ramble, but once that public spat happened between Infinity Ward and Activision, that's really when people were like, fuck Activision. You know, so it's yeah, bro. So that's why Titanfall and Apex Legends control and move so well. It's because these guys know first person shooters. You know, they're basically, like I said, they're the fathers of Call of Duty. So they're really the ones who kind of mastered the first person shooter control scheme into what is now copied by almost everybody. You know, so
I'm curious to see those kids who jam on Fortnite hardcore to be like, what's this Apex Legends like? Holy shit. First person feeling good? Classes? Okay.
Yeah, Apex Legends is good, man.
Fortnite's getting Predator, though, bro.
You know what, dude?
I'm a big, you know me, Mo. I love Predator.
Listen, man, Fortnite is just, it's amazing what they continue to do, what they keep doing with that game to keep people engaged, right? Like, you know, like they just came out in the last few months, in the last like 3 months, they came out with a Kratos skin and a fucking Master Chief skin. And of course, I reinstalled Fortnite, bought both skins, and I haven't touched it again, you know, because what the fuck, you know, those are like those are my favorite two characters in all of gaming, so you put them in a game like that and it's amazing. And now you're talking about
because
Predator.
One day your son wants to play it, you're gonna be like, yo, forget all these regular people, these characters over here. These
I just saw Terminator's coming too.
Yes,
Sarah Connor, yes. And I have no interest in playing Fortnite, but every time I look at these skins, I go, man, I wish Fortnite was fun to me.
Yes,
but it's not.
Exactly. Yes, that's why. But I still buy the skins because degeneracy, man. Fucking beautiful thing. Anyway, yeah, because I'm always like, all right, well, you know, these are probably because the skins rotate, so they never really bring them back.
Be around for a while.
Yeah, man, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's always going to be top dog for quite a lot. The only game so far, really, I mean, dude, yeah, Warzone put a very, very big dent into Fortnite, despite Fortnite still continuing to be number one. But at some point, Warzone is the first legitimate threat to Fortnite. Yeah. You know, I mean, there's a lot of people who jumped ship, and they've been playing Warzone since it came out. So yeah, man, that's good to see. Glad the Switch is getting another great battle royale. So the next thing. Yeah, this was cool to see, man. Fucking Game Pass. So, Game Pass in January is getting the Medium, which we already know about. It's actually getting the Medium next. Wait, was it next week? Yeah, it is next week. Next week the Medium comes, and then we also got Desperados 3, which I bought at release and I still haven't played. And then I think what's fucking amazing is that it's getting the Yakuza Remastered Collection. So it's also getting 3, 4, and 5. So 3, 4, and 5 were released on the PlayStation 4 last year. That was the first time that they had been ported over to the PlayStation 4. So what they did is Yakuza 0 was all brand new. You know, it was an all new one that they made for the PS4. And then Yakuza 1 and 2, they remade it in the Yakuza 0 engine for Yeah, that's why they're called the Kiwami. There's Kiwami and Kiwami 2, which are essentially Yakuza 1 and 2, just with a much prettier,
Okay.
yeah, with a lot of makeup on. And then 3, 4, and 5, they kind of just remastered them. You know, they didn't really put as much work into them as they did with Kiwami 1 and 2, which I think kind of sucks, but, you know, I'm sure they knew what they were doing. And now they're coming to Game Pass. So the only Yakuza game that's not on Game Pass now is Yakuza 6, which I don't know how long the exclusivity is going to be on the PlayStation 4, but that's basically the end of that franchise, that series. You know, the Kiryu story. So, bro, this is just fucking amazing. You know, we keep talking about Game Pass and how amazing it is and how it just keeps adding and adding, and now you have almost the entire Yakuza series on Game Pass itself. So I don't know if you guys played Yakuza. Mike, you and I have probably talked about it before, but for anybody looking to get into them, they're fantastic, man. Kevin, what do you have you played Yakuza, or are you planning on getting into it anytime soon?
I have not played any Yakuzas. So I am a virgin and I am ready. I might be ready for this. So where should I start?
0. Definitely 0.
All right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I
0.
saw the news about Game Pass, and I'm like, this is the perfect time to dip my toes in and see if if it's something I like. Yeah, people just rave about Yakuza all the time. So
the cool thing, the reason why I'm telling you 0, if you talk to a Yakuza enthusiast, they might tell you something different. But generally, what I've seen online is a lot of people just say start with 0. And the reason why 0 is because you could approach it the Star Wars way, you know, where you play them the way that they were released and then play 0, right? But the thing is after playing 0 and then I was playing 1, I got about 6 to 8 hours into Kiwami, right? And it makes sense, right? Because I'm like, okay, I saw these characters and what happened to them, because 0 is basically a prequel, hence the 0, you know? But you see where they were and what they become in the next 6 games. You know, so for me, it would have kind of felt a little bit disjointed if I just jumped into Kiwami and I saw the main protagonist, Kiryu, and then his rocky relationship with his former best friend / brother, you know, not really blood brother, but these guys basically grew up together. So to see that transition from 0 to 1, if I would have just played 1 and then went to 0, I don't know if it would have resonated with me as well, you know, versus people who played them chronologically or the way in the order that they came out. Maybe it resonates differently with them, but I would definitely recommend starting from 0.
Nice. Yeah, no, I may check it out. And again, that's a great collection.
They're so fucking good, man. They're so fucking
on
good.
On Game Pass.
You know, if they're brawlers, okay? They take place obviously in different areas in Japan, and if you appreciate Japanese culture, which I'm pretty sure we all do considering we're big nerds, if you appreciate Japanese culture and you appreciate their humor, their sense of humor, you know, that quirky shit that they have, which is fucking awesome that we don't have here in the US. If you can appreciate that itself, you know, and the way their storytelling is, dude, because the stories are fantastic and they're fun to play. They're really fun to play. And yeah, I would definitely recommend it. Mike, you did you ever play Yakuza or no?
I played Kiwami, and you telling me the story order like gets me like, so, oh, cool. So I played the first one. I've played the beginning of the first one. Like, that makes me feel better about it. Yakuza is literally one of those Japanese games that I never got into, and I'm surprised at it myself. I've been looking at Game Pass 2 recently. I've been on my Xbox quite a bit. Like I told you, played Destiny 2 the other day. I like popped it open. Like, okay, cool, yeah.
You
so
really
one
need
of those things where it's like, all right, Game Pass is looking a lot better, especially now here because I'm starting to look into the next gen consoles, or you know, the now gen consoles, and trying to decide what I want and like what's going to come out and stuff. You know, because they're starting to get into a little bit of a rotation there in the gaming industry about 2021, so that's good. But this is one of those things where it's just like, that's a fucking reason. That's a reason at least to get the 3 months for $1. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's just like, man, Game Pass is looking so good. And with the Yakuza coming, it's just that prime time where it's like, this is a good time to get into it. This is a good moment to, you know, expand it, give it like, you know, take that leap into these games, because man, do I see people who have played it, they talk so highly of it, and it's like, I know I'm missing out. So to me, that's worth it right there.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, that's yeah, but honestly I think too there's 6 games again, that are on Game Pass from the series, and I at some point obviously the last one, which is Yakuza 6, but technically the 7th game should come out. Yeah, dude. Honestly, Kevin, considering you're in a funk, man, that might be a good place to start. Just see if you like them or not. Fuck, it's not going to cost you anything.
No
so,
shit, I'm already a subscriber till like 2029, so I'm nothing to lose.
I have, what's fucking sad is I have, so I don't know why Xbox doesn't let you stack the memberships past 3 years. This shit really pisses me off. Like I have I have PS Plus until 2024, and I have, I had, let me see, I have Game Pass Ultimate until 2023, and I have a year of codes that are just sitting there right now because they don't stack.
Yep. They literally will not let you punch that in. I know. I got to the point where it's like, sorry, you cannot add anymore, and I'm like, oh, what? What am I going to do with these codes? I got like a notepad document sitting there.
I was just afraid. I was afraid that if I end up adding like a 3-month code or another 6-month code, that it'll probably just give me whatever I can get from the 6 months, and the rest of it will kind of just be erased. So I'm like, you know what, fuck that. I'll just wait 1 year and then I'll use the code. I don't know. I've never really asked or looked. Do they do that? Like let's say you have
no, they
let's say you have 2 years and 9 months, right? And you wanna submit a 6-month code. Will they let you submit it or no?
I don't think so. I don't think they would.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think they're gonna lose that. That would be sketch because it'll stack up to the max, but once you get to an odd number, you're gonna have to fill it in with like monthly codes or whatever else.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. Okay, that's good. So at least you don't get fucked. That's good to know. I guess I'll just wait a little bit longer. But yeah, Yakuza, play it. You should for sure. So yeah, Team Ninja. Who is behind Dead or Alive, Ninja Gaiden, Neo, however you want to say it. They basically ripped my heart out of my chest this week. They kind of talked about their future plans. They said basically that they're working on, quote, a lot of new titles, but they said there's no plans for Nioh 3 right now. And what really hurt me was saying no plans for a new Ninja Gaiden game. They said they're interested in doing an open world style game, and again, they're working on, quote, a lot of new titles. I'm a fan of Team Ninja. I was more of a fan when Itagaki was the head of Team Ninja before he got in a spat with Tecmo. He was basically he was the creative director at the time when they came out. It was basically their golden age, honestly. During the Dead or Alive games, and then the Ninja Gaiden 1 and Ninja Gaiden 2. And I'm just really sad to see that they're not developing a new Ninja Gaiden game. I was really, really hoping for it for this gen at least, because it's kind of been dormant. They came out with that shitty excuse for a Ninja Gaiden game called 3 a few years back, and it just wasn't as good. It looked good, but it just was not the same. You did not get that same feeling from 1 and 2, the original 1 and 2 on the Xbox and Xbox 360. What about you, Kevin? Are you a fan of Team Ninja? Did you see this shit about Ninja Gaiden?
I did see the news only because you linked it. Very sad about it, and I was very sad for you. But I remember really enjoying Ninja Gaiden on the OG Xbox.
Oh yeah,
and my buddy had it, and I played it a lot.
It still holds up.
Yeah,
it still holds up so fucking well.
I agree.
So well.
I agree. And I'd love to see something like that come to fruition on, something like a Series X. I mean, that'd be so badass.
I don't know why I don't know why, man, because it's definitely...
Did it not sell?
No, 1 and 2 were very successful. I think 3 they hit a fucking brick wall. I don't think 3 sold very well, and that's because people were like, what the fuck is this shit? This is not what we were expecting. 1 and 2 were excellent, and the reason why is because they were hard, but they were fair. You know, like, I mean, and me, I can't stand really difficult games because I fucking stink at them and I don't have patience for it, you know, but those games hit that right difficulty for me. Dude, they were brutal, you know, I mean, they punished you, but at the
Yeah.
same time, like, they kept you on your fucking toes, and just the gameplay itself was so good and so smooth and so sharp. It was very, very, God, it was so responsive, and I think that's what made it, because the enemies you're playing up against are very fast. You know, especially like if you fight like these other ninjas too, man. If they gang up on you, fuck, dude. Yeah, they will slice your ass up. So yeah, man, I don't know. Mike, did you ever play the old Ninja Gaiden games, the Xbox and Xbox 360 ones?
Hell to the yeah, Mo.
Oh, man, bro.
Ninja Gaiden put Ninja Theory on the map for me. Or Team Ninja, my bad. I was literally going to mention earlier, because they're both named ninjas and they're either a theory or they're a team. And so to me, playing Ninja Gaiden 1 to me was like, I remember fighting a boss on top of some fiery attic, and I remember like phoning my buddy and I'm like, dude, I cannot beat this guy, like what do I do? And he was just like basically trying to tell me how to play without saying get good, because that wasn't a term at the time, you know. And I'm just like, anyways, and I finally beat him, and I'm like, who the fuck made this game? Because the mechanics, everything about this is G. And then I got Neo, of course. I really like this studio, man. Like their fighting and their mechanics to their video games is so dialed in, it's so good. So, which, even though it breaks my heart that it's not a Ninja Gaiden game, although I do hope it's something, I just hope it's not a fighting game. Because I didn't really play Dead or Alive, even though they're super popular and there's a bunch of them or whatever. But they made other games like Metroid Other M, which I played the shit out of. Neo 1 and 2 played the shit out of. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 played the shit out of. So it's like one of those things where it's like they have made some of my favorite games. When I get hands on with it, it's like ninjas and it's that sword slashing stuff. Like that is what video games is to me, and they are just OG in that regard because of Ninja Gaiden. It's like one of my epitome of like moments in video game. Like, whoa, Ryu Hayabusa, watch out, dog. You know, skeleton Tyrannosaurus or whatever. You know, it's insane. Yes. That is video games to me, and it's Japanese, so it's super cool. So whatever they're going for, multiple titles, you know, I'm sitting back and enjoying the Team Ninja ride. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And I'm kind of glad though too that it wasn't Neo 3 at the sense, because Neo 1 to Neo 2 was not that impressive. It was just like, all right, cool. Like it's different here and there, and you have a different move here and there and some weapons or whatever, but it wasn't that big of a jump. So, but yeah, I hope it's some open world cool ass slicing and dicing combo-matic crazy triple S style stuff.
Man, fuck that, bro. I want Ninja Gaiden. That's what I want, man. Give it to me. The only way we can play them right now is backwards compatibility, which is cool, seriously, man. But like, fuck.
I have 3 on the 1, and I'm just like,
I don't know. I was just looking it up, man. It still holds up. I bet you it looks pretty decent with all the upscaling and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, they do. So I'm, fuck.
Sorry,
man.
Mo. Sorry,
really,
man.
Really, I swear to God, I swear to God, I'm really, really debating fucking popping in Ninja Gaiden fucking Black into the Series X and just. Oh.
That's the hardest one, Mo. Ninja Gaiden Black.
Well, Ninja Gaiden Black, it was like the ultimate edition on the Xbox.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I have that physical copy.
So do I. And then 2, man, 2 is so good. 2 like they pussyfied it for the Sigma versions. You know, when they came out on the PlayStation, they took the fucking blood out and the decapitations were gone, because 2 was really bloody, right? 2 was really, it was so fucking nice. It's just like, man, why are you depriving your players of that? It's so satisfying to just lop heads off in that game just because the gameplay is so kinetic. It's awesome.
Dismemberment and blood has become less and less since back in the day. I feel like that's kind of like one of the reasons why I play video games, is to see that kind of stuff in a way. Not to be fucked up, but whatever. I don't care.
That's all right, man. Yeah. We're all sick fucks in our own way, and I support you 100%.
Yes, like, I'm 100% behind you.
Hell yeah, bro.
Do you guys remember that vampire game called Blood Rain?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Okay. So there is dismemberment if you play it normally, like an arm or so every now and again. But if you type in this code, it was like the literal dismemberment code. Dude, that turned that game into kibbles and bits like a circus, bro. You would activate her ultimate, her like hardcore, whatever, vampire mode. And dude, she would be breakdancing and doing her flips and stuff, and literally the enemies would just fall apart. And it was Nazis, and so it felt so fucking good to do that in the game. And I was just like, that's so cool. They put in a code to make it even more violent. And that game was already over the top, and like the dialogue was cheesy. It was Nazis, you know what I mean? Experimentations and stuff. But yeah, when you're talking swords in games, I do believe like there's got to be that level of dismemberment, you know what I mean? Just to really put it in the fantasy video game, rated M for mature for a reason. It's like they toned down the violence and then they started ramping up the sex. You know, like let's take the dismemberment and blood splatters away and let's put in boobies and butts and stuff like that. Having sex on unicorns and stuff.
I think there should be both. I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's why Cyberpunk to me was just like a punch of fresh air. It's like, oh man, it's like hardcore violent and it's super.
Yeah, you had unicorn sex and violence, and that's
exactly what we want, man. Yeah, unicorn sex, violence, and fucking and dismemberment, bro. That's
dismemberment. God, what fucking podcast am I on? My wife's gonna have questions. Is this some sort of fetish cast you're doing in there?
You gotta make it personal in some way.
No comment. Yeah, dude. So fucking just give us Ninja Gaiden. That's what I want. Okay. So to briefly touch on it, apparently Sony Santa Monica is working on an unannounced game. They put a job posting on Twitter 2 days ago. They're seeking an art director, and it said, "We are seeking an experienced art director for the development of a new unannounced title." And this got people to start, going absolutely fucking nuts. What are you making? What are they doing? We already know that they're making God of War Ragnarok. What else could they possibly be making? I don't know if I remember correctly, but I could have sworn that this current God of War timeline is supposed to be 3 games. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but my guess could be probably a stupid guess is I think Ragnarok is probably going to be some type of filler in between their next big project. You know how teams, how a lot of teams, they have 2 teams. There's one team working on a game, and then they have another team that's basically in pre-production for another game, for like the major game. And my guess is probably that it's going to be the full-fledged sequel, I guess, if you want to say. But you know what? But Ragnarok is really going to be a sequel because it's Ragnarok. I'm just not convinced that they can put out Ragnarok in 2021. And then a lot of people are also concerned that, it might be released. It's probably going to be cross-gen for the PS4 and PS5. Wouldn't doubt if it is, because we're still in that buffer zone right now where there's a lot to be left on the table, a lot of money to be left on the table. For my own selfish reasons, I want it on the PS5, but it hasn't even been 3 years. God of War came out in April 2018. And I just don't know if 3 years is enough, even though they're going to be using a lot of the same assets. If they do reuse a lot of the same assets from the first God of War, we are probably going to be talking about a cross-gen game. But I don't know, I don't know where they can go from here. If they're working on a new title or a completely brand new project or a completely brand new franchise, cool. Where it can go, I have no idea. I don't want to just sit here and blow smoke. I mean, I really don't know, but my guess is it's another God of War game, because I just don't think that they're anywhere nearly done with this franchise, especially after Ragnarok. What do you think, Kevin?
It's going to be a God of War farming game, and it'll be a mobile God of War game. Yeah, that's what it's gonna be. No, I have no fucking idea. But God of War is such a strong franchise that I would assume it would be in that same vein. But who knows? I mean, the God of War universe is huge, right? I mean, they could come out with anything in that. Maybe it's something. Maybe it's a prequel with maybe it goes back or goes forward or follows a different god or something. You have no idea. I just know that they're definitely not done with God of War. That would just make sense to me. And I'm kind of in the same boat with the Ragnarok. It's got to be cross-gen. I mean, they've had to be working on it for a while. And if they use the same assets and, PS4 is going to be supported for a while, you think it was going to be cross-gen with, a free upgrade for PS5, which is kind of disappointing because I really want my socks to be blown off by a fully, PS5 optimized God of War. And that's me being a selfish asshole, but, whatever.
Mm-hmm,
But maybe they'll delay it. Did they? I thought they did already. No, they're still planning 2021 for Ragnarok, right?
Well, as of now, but a lot of people are just not convinced that it's coming in 2021.
That'd be hard to pull off. But like you said, man, if it's the same assets and it's just a continuation of God of War, I don't know how much they'd have to rebuild or where it would take place. I'm sure they could pump something out. It needs to be good, man. How do you follow up that God of War reboot with some half-ass janky shit? You can't.
That's why I don't think about it seriously.
Yeah.
I don't think they will, man. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be like not janky, like just not that studio. They're definitely not a fucking. They're just not, But a lot of people think that it could possibly be like Miles Morales, where it's a shorter, where it's like a shorter experience. Even though a lot of people just prefer Miles Morales' story to the first one. They just think I don't know, but the thing is if you're calling it Ragnarok, here's the two things I'm looking at. Either you don't want to call it God of War 2 because God of War 2 was already taken and they don't want to just rename the series again. So they're probably thinking like, okay, for every iteration we'll have a subtitle, or it could possibly be a filler, but like how? We all know how God of War 1 ended. We all know what they're preparing for and what they have to do. I mean, you can't make that filler. Like, that just cannot be a shorter experience with everything that's on the line. The character you meet at the end of the game, at the end of the game, and then there's obviously Odin, and there's so much more that he still has to do. Like, I don't know, bro. I'm really, like, conflicted here in terms of where they can go with this. I don't know. I have no idea. Mike, what do you think, bro?
Yeah, like I said, man, it's one of the, because when I think a second God of War game, I'm thinking, whoa, Now, when you start to say things like reusing assets and stuff, I'm like, gross, because, I get it. And I'm just thinking, how do you make God of War 1 bigger and better? I don't like the idea, of course, for cross-gen, but I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? Because like Kevin, I want my socks to be blown off. I want that. Whoa, this is only for... Right, you get it. And, I'm thinking maybe they can add more weapons, which means more animations. Maybe he's able to do something else. On the wild side of me, I'm thinking maybe the industry is changing a little bit and they want to figure out what they could do with the biggest IP that they have, which is God of War, and how could they make it different and better at the same time in that sense. I don't like the idea of them making it some type of spin-off or something like that. I would like the idea if it was a spin-off, but it was like some sort of side story shit, not Kratos, not Atreus, just something... because like Kevin said, the world is big now. They have expanded it for sure, Yeah. And it's just one of those things. It's 3 years after God of War. They probably have been in the lab cooking some stuff up. You know what I mean? No doubt about it. I mean, a week after the first one came out, it was like well known, like, yeah, this is a banger right here, So for them not to be making moves on that already is like kind of strange.
Mm-hmm.
But the announcement in January, I believe it was, or like December or whatever it was, right? Of Ragnarok, it's like, when do you announce a trailer? Like, when do you do announcements? Like when it's almost done or something? What does Santa Monica, they're hiring? Is this a new type of game? Yeah, that's a weird. Yeah, that is interesting.
My guess is, honestly, while you were talking, I thought of this, Kevin. I think too that this game, this unannounced game that they're working on, could be that full-fledged PS5 one, right? Which kind of like pushes me more to believe that Ragnarok itself is going to be cross-gen. If you're working on an unannounced title and you're hiring now also for positions, like it seems like it's in its infancy, and this could possibly be the PS5 only one that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, it could be something amazing. But if it's shit, man, it'd be like 3 years out in the minimum.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're gonna fucking wait. Yeah, we are definitely going to wait for that one. It's
and who knows with the dev kits out there, and the fact that we have seen very little for the PS5 in terms of what it can do. Maybe we still will get our socks blown off with the PS5 version of Ragnarok. I hope so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I hope so too, man. We'll see.
I was watching some Elden Ring stuff, and for example, the dude mentioned, and he seemed like a huge From Software fan, he mentioned that From Software doesn't release trailers until a game is almost complete. So like with Elden Ring, they released that one like premiere not too long ago. You know what I mean? And this is like one of the biggest type of games. So I kind of just wonder, if Ragnarok was announced as well, how far along? You don't think 2021 for Ragnarok, Mo?
You know what, man? It might be their surprise for the holiday.
Like I could see a late 2021 release for it.
Yeah. I would say they'll probably wait it out, because we already know.
I see your concern, though.
Yeah, man. I don't know, dude. I just, like that's just one of my babies, bro. Just don't fuck up God of War. What is it?
What is the job position they're hiring for?
Art director.
Art director.
Mm-hmm.
So they're in the design stage or something. If they're trying
absolutely.
to an art director, like from what I know, an art director is like he has he'll draw shit out, right? And then people will try to emulate that style.
Oh, I don't know. I won't even pretend to know what the fuck they do, but they direct art. That's
over there. Hang that picture over there, and
yeah, you see this tree bark? It needs to be like more brown.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see, bro. Hey, it's all speculation, but glad to see at least they have something else cooking. Let me see, my friends. So Tencent, the Chinese mega tech company that is basically acquiring half of the world. So today, a report from Daniel Ahmed, who is a games industry analyst, he actually subtweeted a tweet from Roundhill Investments, which is verified. So they basically said that Tencent is considering debt financing for possible gaming deal. They're looking at a potential acquisition of a gaming business, according to TMT Finance. And the target has not been identified, but is expected to be a gaming company in the US or South Korea. And apparently they're raising several $1 billion for this. So it seems like if you're raising several $1 billion, this definitely sounds like they're going to acquire a publisher. There is no single game studio that's worth several $1 billion. We clearly know that, unless you're CD Projekt Red, who, yes, haters, even as of May, they were worth $8.6 billion. So they're still worth several $1 billion, even after the debacle that they had recently. I don't know where they could possibly go with this, for several billion, I still think Microsoft overpaid a little bit for ZeniMax. Not significantly, but I think ZeniMax could have maybe like $5 billion, I think they overpaid a little bit for them, but in return, look what they're getting. So that's why sometimes I'm kind of like, did they really though? Elder Scrolls, Doom, I mean, did they really, really overpay? I'm always like, conflicted on how to feel about that. But if you're buying if you're raising that much, I would just probably be tempted to think maybe EA, Take-Two, Gearbox. I don't know if Gearbox is worth several billion, but it ain't going to be Epic. Epic is definitely worth a lot of fucking money at this point, so I don't think anybody could buy them.
They already own 40% of Epic.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. Yes, yeah. Good thing I had you today. Yes, they do.
I'm here. I'm here for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely. So they do actually. Tencent owns about 40% of Epic. You're absolutely right. So it's definitely not going to be that. My money is maybe on EA, bro.
I can see that.
When you say several billion, I could see EA going for several billion. Because I remember when there was rumors about Take-Two. Remember that fucking stupid rumor about maybe Sony acquiring Take-Two, and everybody was like, "What? Oh my god!"
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you ended up like adding up, if you ended up looking online and seeing how much the company's worth, it was like $10 billion at the time. And if you actually were practical, Sony's not going to drop $10 billion, on that kind of acquisition, even though it will be profitable for them eventually, but Sony does not have the capital, at least, to make that kind of investment like Microsoft does without fucking batting an eye. 10 billion to Sony they can do it, but 10 billion to Sony is a lot more than 10 billion to Microsoft, if I'm gonna put it, frankly. So I don't know, man. Where are you thinking with this? What do you think Tencent? I personally don't give a shit, like when people inject politics into it, a Chinese company, blah, blah, blah. Give me what I want. I'll pay for it. I don't give a fuck about you and your politics, So
I mean, politics aside, people go into the whole fucking, Chinese government taking over everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Aside from that, I'm looking at their games portfolio and the companies that they already have or have stake in. So they already own a little bit of Ubisoft, a little bit of Activision. And they got Riot Games for League of Legends. They own that wholly. So I don't know what would fit in there. EA would make sense, especially if it was a majority stake. Remember, they don't have to buy the whole thing.
Sure.
They could do 80%, or 51% and be the majority. EA would make sense since they already have Ubisoft in their pocket, Activision in their pocket, Riot and Epic. I mean, Jesus. I don't know what other. I know. What other big, studio could they get for that much money? What else is worth that much money? You got Take-Two, Rockstar. I have no idea unless they're stealing Naughty Dog. I mean, my bet would be EA.
What about you, Mike? Where you at on this?
Man, this is kind of above my head, to be quite honest. Shit, dude. All I know is that if they're rich enough and they want to acquire a studio to make it better, I'm about it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, EA does sound good. What if like CD goes under and they're like, "Oh, we're scooping that bad boy up too"?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm not too into shares and stuff like that, so some of this is quite over my head. That's big time gaming. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's big time gaming for me.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, dude, I don't know. I know it's gonna make a splash, whatever it is, and this because there's been like an arms race, is what they call it, with the studio and publisher acquisitions, and obviously Microsoft they want to add more and more because of their Game Pass, to bolster their Game Pass library even more. You got to feed the beast. I mean, your subscribers are only going to continue to go up, so you have to feed that number. You have to continue to feed it. Obviously, there's Amazon who's in there. There's Google. There's and now there's Tencent, and it's going to be quite interesting to see. I don't personally think. I said this on Boom's show on Monday. I think if Microsoft acquires studios, if they continue to acquire studios, I think they'll acquire smaller studios. I don't think they'll make as big of a splash as they did with the ZeniMax acquisition. Because not that they can't afford it for the fucking fanboys, okay? You know, the ones who get fucking all tingly and wet when they hear about Microsoft's Pocket. No, it's not that they can't afford it, but I mean, still, you know, despite the fact of how big they are, 7.5 billion is still 7.5 billion. Yeah, that's a big chunk of change. So I think they'll probably maybe acquire smaller studios, and they'll continue to bolster their library this year and show us more of what they have that's coming up from the rest of their 23, you know, that they have. So, but anyway, yeah, as far as Tencent goes, I don't know. I think it's EA. I'll be surprised to see what else it's going to be, but just thought it was worth mentioning because Tencent is going to take over the world one day.
Welcome to Backlog Chronicles, sponsored by Tencent.
No, it'll be written at the bottom in little letters.
Yep.
a Tencent company. Then I'll get on and we do a live show. Yeah, welcome to the TBC with fucking Tencent splattered all over my fucking shirt that I'm wearing.
Right.
Oh yeah, man.
On your face because we're in cyberpunk land by then.
Absolutely, dude. Fuck yeah, we are. That's what's the name of that? What's the name of that fucking mega thing in Terminator that owns everything? What's it called?
Skynet.
Skynet. Yes, yes, Skynet. It's exactly what Tencent is gonna become. So, dude, after that, oh man. So, did you guys see Resident Evil today? Resident Evil 8?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to dive into it quickly because I want your thoughts. I think it looks fucking spectacular. I think the fact that it's releasing in May was a very nice surprise. They said that you know, there will be ray tracing and 3D audio support in there. I don't know how they're going to pull it off. There's probably going to be like a quality mode and a performance mode, but it is going to be cross-gen, which was probably the biggest news. Because initially when Resident Evil 8 was first announced, they said that it was going to be next-gen only, right? And because they basically said that, you know, our vision and blah, 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 like it just was not going to be fulfilled with the last-gen consoles. But a few months ago, they said, okay, maybe, you know, we're still looking at that. So maybe we might be able to, but we'll see. We're not really fully committing to it yet. And today they just fully blasted it and said, yes, it's coming to PS4 and Xbox One. There were people, again, like myself, who really wanted it to be only exclusive to the next gen consoles, but then you have to be practical and know that there's 160, 170 million consoles out there between the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. So they're not going to leave all that money on the table either. And my guess is because they really were adamant on going next gen console only, they probably started with that and they started scaling back down. They started scaling it down, which is fine for me, right? As long and just from the looks of it, man, the game is just absolutely gorgeous. The new antagonist, that fucking tall lady, her name is what the hell did they say her name was? Lady, I could have sworn I had it here somewhere. God damn it! Come on, I know it's here. Her name is Lady Dimitrescu. She's that tall, fucking 8 foot tall lady with the big bosom, and she has claws coming out and. Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering why I was turning
there's a lot more supernatural shit. There's a lot more supernatural shit with the witches and shit, you know, that I'm seeing, and it's back in first person mode like the really popular Resident Evil 7. I'm excited, man. I was too big of a pussy to play 7, but I'm definitely going to play it. I think if I man the fuck up and I just turn on the lights, I should be okay, you know.
Oh my god.
Yeah, for sure.
Grown ass man.
You know what?
Come on,
I don't know.
Come on.
Yeah, horror games for me are just, dude. Yeah, I need a bucket, man. I'm not even fucking around. You know, like it's very touchy. But I definitely want to play 7 to play 8, and I know for sure I'm going to get to it. Kevin, to get to you, what did you think?
I'm so excited. So I loved most of the Resident Evils. They kind of lost me at 5 and 6. And then 7 came out, and I absolutely loved it. I played 7 on the PC, and then I played some of the expansions on the Xbox, and 8 looks fantastic. 7 was great. I mean, 7 was great in first person, and it was a beautiful game. And if they enhance these for the Series X and the PS5, I'm gonna play it on one of those. And I'm super psyched, dude. That the antagonist looks hot, and I'm oddly turned on
Yeah.
by the whole concept of an 8 foot tall vampire woman with a big bosom. I mean, come on.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, what's not to like?
I mean, what's not to
Exactly.
like? And yeah, dude, I'm a sucker for Resident Evil games. I always end up playing them. I like horror games that are like Resident Evil, where you have some solid action. Usually, the gunplay is decent. Like in 7, the gunplay was actually really good. The challenge was fair.
Mhm.
You know, and it was just a well done game. So if 8 takes on, you know, takes everything they learned in 7, which was a big leap for them. I think it's going to be a great seller. It's already up for pre-order that I saw
Mhm.
today, so
Mhm.
I'm definitely scoring that. And May, right? I mean, we're almost there. It'll
4
be
months,
May in
man.
no time. I'm
4
super
months.
excited. Yeah, I'm super excited.
What about you, Mike? What do you got?
Oh man, this has got me hyped. I love Resident Evil. It's one of my first like gaming PlayStation games ever. I feel like that was a mistake on my father's part, but hey, whatever. I was a young boy and I was so fucking scared, but I loved it so much because of the mystery and you know the laboratory experimentations and stuff like that. Like that to me is what defines zombies or any type of intriguing horror. Now, this Resident Evil, it looks like they're going in a different direction, right? Like you said, Mo, with the witches and the supernatural stuff.
Mhm.
For some reason, that it does make me afraid, but for some reason, it intrigues me as if it were like a Bloodborne type of game, where it's like it's kind of scary, but it's more interesting because of what is happening. For some reason, 7 just made me feel like the family side of it, just like freaked me the fuck out, and I just didn't want. Once I kind of understood what the story was, I was like, yeah, I'm good on that game, and I'll be like watching it at a safe distance on YouTube, you know what I mean? And I watched it all on YouTube, like I've told you. Still scared every moment when they pop out and you got the pussy maggots and like the dad, and it's just freaky, you know, it's just
Sorry,
freaky.
the pussy maggots.
The
What?
maggots, yeah, the mom, she has like this like junk and it's like worms or something. I don't know, man. I just that's what scared me the most. She like jumps out at you and she's like contorted. Yeah, it's the contortions. It's so
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, I
The
could see
little
that. I could see
yeah,
that. So maybe I'm just fucked up, guys, with YouTube
maybe
being.
Kevin. I like
God
it
damn
though.
it, man!
I like it though.
I
You
know
gotta
my
have some
wife comes
edge.
in on me. My wife comes in on me playing this shit and goes, "The fuck is on your screen right now?" And I'm like, pussy maggots. Come on. I mean,
Mhm.
don't you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Family problems. It's great storytelling. You know what I mean? But yeah, the way they're going with this, the whole supernatural vibe, I love the shots that it shows. I love like it gives you mystery because I saw that little scene where she's talking on the phone, the vampire girl. She's like, "Oh, I know about the ceremony," and then the scene whenever they're like walking through the bottom and all those hooded zombies, I guess, or like
Yes.
goblins or whatever you want to call them, just like they're fucked up creatures but humanoid. I was like, that's what freaked me out, and I was like, oh my god, there's the fear that is very hidden underneath the intrigue of the supernatural werewolf guy. You got a dude with that like big axe or
Yes.
hammer or whatever it
Yes.
is.
I'm so excited.
Yeah,
You know, and one thing I've always liked about the Resident Evils is, and not to go off on a tangent, but is they always get that pacing right. You know, they don't over exhaust any one mechanic, you know, so you
Mhm.
get the pacing where you have to find, you know, certain objects, and they intertwine a little bit of challenge in there. But it's not just, you know, it's not Dead Rising where it's just a million zombies at you, and it's
yeah,
not just a bunch of jump scares either, you know. So they definitely divvy it up nicely, and I always found that Capcom did a really good job at that across all the Resident Evils. There's always, you know, a part where you just need to run, and there's a part where you need to
yeah.
search for shit, and then there's another time where you need to be kind of stealthy, you know. So yeah, no, I'm excited. This is a good, you know, franchise, a solid franchise to build off of. On, I can see them doing, you know, several more first person um, Resident Evils in the
Yeah,
future.
and it's still the same Ethan guy, right?
Mhm.
From 7.
Ethan
Is it?
Winters. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Because she's like, "Oh, Ethan, it seemed to be too much for my sisters to handle in that little clip or whatever she's talking about." So I'm like, "Okay, it's Ethan. I know at the end of the DLC, not to spoil it, Mo, just in case if you do play it, he meets like another Resident Evil character. So I'm intrigued about that because I liked the whole Stars team and that whole mix. Capcom does a really good job on what's the feeling you get from the environment, setting the tone, setting the surrounding area, making you feel like you're there with the structures. The backtracking is so validated because it's like that, like you were saying, Kevin, with the items and stuff. Very intricate. It's calculated fear, I guess, is what I was going to say.
They got that down, man. They do it well.
Yeah, they got it down to a science for sure. And this one it really takes Resident Evil to the next level, I think. I thought from the remakes, like 2 and 3, like, ooh, that's good Resident Evil. You know, I played 2. I heard 3 was just even more action. So that even seems like way more fun to me, even though it's a short game. But from the 7 to 8, with this supernatural vibe, it really seems like it's pushing Resident Evil to the next level. And I'm very interested to see how they insert the original storytelling with like any of the viruses, or because they did that in 7 where it's like, oh, that one thing happens and the family kind of gets fucked up or whatever. So why is there werewolves? Why are these people, you know, that's what intrigues me.
I hope we get some backstory. That'd be fun.
Yeah, looking good. It's looking good.
Oh yeah. So that is yeah, man, that was a really nice thing. And then on top of that, you're talking about May, you know, and we already know we got a lot of games coming out soon, you know. We got The Medium, we have Outriders, we have Super Mario, we have this, we have the new Ratchet and Clank. I mean, it's gonna be an onslaught, man. Yeah,
we're getting into the mix, man. We are getting into the mix.
Well, here's the thing, right? Usually in the spring summertime, the releases are pretty slower. But you got to remember too, you know, now they're kind of like shifting gears a little bit because they know whether it's spring or summer, people are still going to be home, you know. So
exactly,
yeah. So now I'm tempted to think that we're just going to get AAAs a lot more frequently, even unannounced ones that we don't know anything about yet. You know, I think we're going to get them a lot more frequently than we did from before. So. Yeah, dude, I think we're all excited for this. I really need to. I mean, this fucking got me excited without even playing 7, you know? So I'm definitely going to play 7. I'm going to get on that fucking.
Are you, though? Are you? Do you have a bucket?
Mo, stream it,
man.
Stream it, and I'll experience it with you, bro.
No, man, you don't want to hear me.
We can virtually hold your hand.
Yeah, dude, and we'll be like, "You got this, brother. Just
come on, Mo. You got this."
You don't want to hear me. You don't want to hear me screaming.
Open the door.
You do not want to hear me screaming live. You know? Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
the thing that fucks me up about scary games is the feeling that somebody's behind you, chasing you, and like that feeling, you know, where it's like, I don't know what's going on behind me, but I know it's fucked up. I just need to keep pushing. Oh my god.
It's a sense of dread, man. It's fucking dread. That's why I don't play them. It's fucking dread. I'm always sensing dread, even when there's nothing there. You could be in like a fucking empty room and just stare at a chandelier and be like, oh fuck.
Yeah, what's that noise?
So yeah, I'll muster up the courage somehow. Somehow I will. You guys will be the first to know about that.
Excellent.
The last thing I wanted to leave off with is, so apparently Sony, they killed off the Killzone website. So the statistics apparently are still there for anybody who plays it, but now if you go to Killzone, it takes you to the Horizon Zero Dawn page. And a lot of people are like, okay, what does that mean? Does that mean that Killzone is no more? I personally was disappointed to see this. I don't know if it's some type of like indirect confirmation for that, but for me, there's disappointments on two aspects. One being that I think they should revisit Killzone. I was a big fan of Killzone 2 and 3. I thought they were gorgeous. They were beautiful. They played good. They fixed them up. You know, initially they really played like you were fucking driving a truck, but they made them a lot better. Animations were beautiful. The shooting felt good. I thought the multiplayer for 2 was so fun. Man, I sank hundreds of hours into the Killzone 2 multiplayer, more than 3. But I did not really like Shadowfall too much on the PS4 launch. I thought it was a beautiful game. It did some things better, but I just felt like it was a step back for the series. I wasn't as engaged into it as I was with the previous ones, and I just didn't even bother finishing the game. Now, that's one reason why. You know, I personally love Killzone, and I would like for it to be revived somehow. The other aspect of it is because that means that there are no first-party games that Sony is making that are first-person shooters. So you're sitting on a franchise like Killzone, you're sitting on a franchise like Resistance, which is made by one of your studios now, Insomniac, which was some of their finest work, especially Resistance 3. And, you know, I think that it's disappointing because you still need shooters in your ecosystem. You know, as much as we love Sony games and as well made as they are and well polished as they are and how well they play and whatever, all of them are third-person games, right? At the end of the day, they are all third-person games, and I think a little bit of variety would definitely help in that from that perspective. You know, I just don't know why they are taking so long with Resistance. I know Resistance 3 did not sell as well as the first two, but at the same time, especially now because people are craving them. You know, and the more enough time has passed where it will feel like another fresh experience for those who did not get to play them on the PS3. You know, and I don't know, man. You know, like I really, really would love for Sony to come out with a first-person shooter, an in-house, a first-party first-person shooter again, whether it's Resistance Revival. Or again, you know, Killzone Revival, whatever it may be. I just feel like they really need that. They don't need it, you know, I mean, clearly, but I think it gives a little bit of flavor as well, you know, to the third person formula that's running with all of their games. What do you think about this, Kevin?
I want to play Resistance again.
Man, they're so good.
They were so good. I have played some of the Killzones. I was excited for Killzone on the PS4, and that was a big disappointment.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that game like I felt the other ones, but Resistance is one of my favorites. 2, not so much, but I loved 1. I loved 3. Why don't we have a first? They have so much talent. They have all these in-house studios. I mean, these games sell. I don't understand. It would be awesome to have a solid first-party PlayStation exclusive, multiplayer capable Resistance or hybrid of Resistance and Killzone. I mean, I don't understand. It would be nice to break up all that third-person, action adventure game footage that we see when we think PlayStation. I'm with you on this. That I just went to the site and it's kind of a sad message. It's just like it's gone. Like Killzone is dead.
Yeah.
It's thanks for your support over the years. See you later. Yeah, so that, I hate when franchises die like that, but they're still sitting on Resistance. I don't understand. Like, it had a good story, it had solid shooting, damn, like, why don't we have one? This is the time. You got the PS5 sitting there, just waiting for a game like this.
That's what's weird. Like, you clearly have to look at all these shooters that are making you so much money, or that are making so much money. We discussed some shooters earlier. Look how excited people are for Halo Infinite. Obviously there's Doom Eternal, which is fantastic, from a gameplay perspective, and just it's Doom. Doom is always good. So what I just don't understand. I get, if it ain't broken, don't fix it, but by adding something, and it will sell. You put Resistance on it, it's
people
going
would
to sell.
Flip their shit for Resistance.
They would flip their shit, and I can't help but know that they know this as well. They are the money makers.
They're way smarter than we
are. Yeah, but again, like I'm just speaking from a fan's perspective. Like, fuck, man, why? Where is it? When are you going to come out with it, Mike? Did you play Killzone or Resistance back in the day?
I played a little bit of Killzone and a little bit of Resistance. I even purchased the Resistance trilogy for my 3 because I was like getting into that or whatever, and I remember being like, "Whoa, this is like cool." I really like this.
Mhm.
I really like, whenever you told me about this mode that you wanted to talk about, I was like, this is a good topic right here. The joking side of me is like, it's all about the controller, Mo. They don't make first person shooter games for PlayStation because the controller is not made for it. Xbox, on the other hand, got that crispy ass controller for those mechanics, and it's just lovely on the Xbox. I'll tell you that. Like so playing Cyberpunk got me like reinvigorated in a first person mode. Because to me, always first person mode, I just think of like lack of visuals. You can't see your body and stuff like that. Basically the Call of Duty tropes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But playing Cyberpunk and then remembering Dying Light, I saw a good little post on Dying Light gameplay, and I'm like, oh yeah, first persons are good. I'm just like not playing the right ones, basically, you know? And I was like, I bet Cyberpunk is better on Xbox because of the controller, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
All right, but anyways, joking aside, it's the controller, Mo, like psychologically. No, just kidding. Yeah, whatever Sony's doing, they can definitely, you're on the mark, man. Like, you guys are on the mark, you know. They can add that variety, they can spice it up a bit.
They
I
need
think
to, like,
yeah, there's a good market for first person shooters. Always, you know, it's always going to be a good thing. I know people still jam Overwatch like it's crazy. You know what I mean? Whether it's on whatever console or whatever, rig you got or whatever, and just Call of Duty, Cyberpunk, you got Halo up and coming. I mean, and if you look at it too, like Xbox is the king of first person right now.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like they're doing it, whether it's a fantasy or a shooter or what have you, whatever genre it's in, and they're doing it. I don't know because I just think about SOCOM. Remember SOCOM? And that was like one of the biggest military shooters, like first online game and all that
it was
stuff.
third person.
Exactly. And that's kind of my thing. And maybe they just kind of like continue that kind of style. I don't know. Like, but that is true. Like, what happened? You know, why isn't Sony making these first persons, like different out there ones? You know what I mean? What's that game that is coming out soon, Mo?
Which
Xbox acquired it, but it's like going to PlayStation still.
There's two of them actually. There's Ghostwire Tokyo and there's Deathloop.
Okay, so yes, exactly. Two first person, like those type of first person.
But that's the thing. But that's the thing. That's like you but you signed an exclusivity with Bethesda for Deathloop, probably for a year, right? So you clearly signed an exclusivity deal for a first person shooter / whatever it is. It's still first person. So why? You know, like, I mean, that just tells me that they are not making in-house first-person shooters, and they continue to rely on the third parties for those. Because Deathloop is made by Arcane, and Arcane. We talked about this the other day. It's the French Arcane, not the Austin, right? So the French Arcane is like the Dishonored Arcane. So I mean, it's gonna be good. You know, we're hoping so, at least just based on their pedigree. But what the fuck? Like, if you're depending on if you're signing exclusive deals with third-party studios. Yeah, man, to me, that's just the writing is on the wall. Like, you're not developing in-house.
It would add some variety to their lineup. I mean, Sony does what they do and they do it well, but boy, like, I could close my eyes, be drunk, and know exactly what the formula is going to be for the next Sony exclusive. You know, it's not rocket science. I would love for them to just prove my ass wrong and come out with some first-person badassery.
Yes.
And, you know, and the DualSense controller is a nice, solid controller now. Yeah, it doesn't have offset sticks, but it's a good-feeling controller. Fucking let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
You know, honestly, I used to think like that, too, with, the Sony controller. But then I played, 315 hours of Warzone on the PS4. Okay, so
yeah, and you're like,
that's a lot of fucking hours using the PS4 controller. Actually, you know what? I fucking lied. I did play on the PS4. However, I had the Astro C40 controller and I offset the sticks. So I'm a fucking liar. Don't believe me. So what I did is I played on the PS. No. Yeah. Forget it. Forget what. Definitely. Yeah. We need offset sticks. We need offset sticks. Yeah.
Controller thing jokingly, but because I'm mainly on my PS4, and then whenever I rotate to my Xbox, and I played Destiny the other day, is what I say, and I'm just like, this feels so much better as a first person.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it just feels right as a first person to have the offset sticks. And I almost like got confused, and I could feel that like that connection in my brain being messed with, you know what I mean? But I was like, but that says something, I think, that because I always like pride myself on like, oh, I could pick up any game and like pick it up instantly, know the rhythm, know the mechanics, blah blah blah, whatever the fuck, but I started playing Destiny. I'm like, whoa, I am like, okay, I am like not playing correctly here. Like, this is weird to me holding this controller. It feels really good though, but like that stick on your left thumb being so close to your hand is just so nice and easy, instead of like having that like L-shaped grip, you know what I mean, on the PlayStation. But yeah, man, I say that jokingly, but I know that's kind of like somewhat of a reason.
Yeah, you know what? That's hilarious too that I even remembered that, because I don't have the Astro C40 anymore because it wasn't transferring. Well, it wasn't going to have the haptic feedback that the DualSense has, So I'm like, oh, fuck this shit, So I went and got my money back. But yeah, I did offset the sticks. I definitely did, and
so we need offset sticks and we need Ninja Gaiden.
The thing is
yeah, there you go. Chalk that up.
Yeah, we do, man. That's basically the premise of this show. Give us the fucking offset sticks and give us Ninja Gaiden, you butchers, you criminals. No, I know you're hearing it. Not. But yeah, we need a shooter, man. I really would like a Sony exclusive shooter. I want to see what they're capable of, and I'm hoping at least that they'll give us. Here's the thing. Just to end this conversation. Insomniac Games the last couple of years have put out teases for Resistance here and there on their Twitter, and I know you guys have seen it. Every couple of months they'll put out something from Resistance, and they'll just put like a funny title, right? Like, if indeed a franchise is completely dead, why are you still retweeting about it, even in a playful manner? Especially now that you're owned by Sony, right? So even though, Sony owned the IP anyway. Sony has always owned the IP, even before even before acquiring Insomniac. But even under Sony's flag, now they still tweet about it here and there. And that gives people a lot of hope. And I hope they're not fucking dicking around with us, with that, because it's such a tease, dude. Anytime anything Resistance related, they tweet out, holy shit, the engagement that they get with the tweet itself. And there's no way that these people aren't sitting there and they're like, hey, bro, there's a lot of fucking interest in this, so we need to remaster this somehow. And you know what? If Insomniac does somehow pull it off, I really wouldn't be surprised, because they're they're just wizards. Since end of 2018, they've put out Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and now they're about to put out Ratchet and Clank. That's 3 games in 2 years. That's incredible. It's just incredible. Like that kind of output from one studio. I mean, bro, whatever Sony paid for that studio, holy shit, it was fucking worth it. Like $275 million for that studio, or $250 or whatever it was, is a fucking steal.
Yeah, it was a bargain.
Can you imagine how much money they've made just off of the last 2 Spider-Man games alone? Like, what a fantastic deal that was. And look, man, again, my love for God of War, Sony Santa Monica, obviously you have Naughty Dog, but dude, like, I swear to God right now, God, man, you really have to fucking give it to Insomniac, because they are definitely up there with those two. You're putting out quality games in a 2-year time span, in a little over 2-year time span. 3 quality games. That's just amazing production.
Quality, well done. Basically finished games. They weren't buggy messes or had too many issues. So yeah.
So anyway, we'll see what. I hope so. Just Insomniac, please stop fucking teasing us, man. So as far as that goes, gentlemen, that was the last thing that was on the agenda. I think it was a great fucking conversation, as always.
Oh yeah,
hell yeah, man.
Kevin, thank you for coming, homie.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I gotta get you on here more often too, dude. Honestly, I really should. When your wife is not kicking your ass, it would be just our pleasure to have you on here.
That's few and far between when I can fetch my balls from the nightstand and bring them in the office with me.
Oh shit, man! You know what, dude? It's crazy. Oh fuck! Man. Just we'll get you back on here, for sure, dude. And,
Yeah, hell yeah! Thanks for having me, guys.
where can they find you, bro?
Again, I'm on Twitter, and you can find me there. If you don't already know me, then too bad, because I'm not giving you my Twitter tag. So fuck y'all. But yeah, come hang out with us. I'm always on Mo's threads and listening to the Backlog Chronicles with these guys. So again, thanks for having me, guys. It's always a pleasure.
Super awesome.
Absolutely, brother. Mike, you got anything you want to add?
No, they're doxing Avengers developers. I don't know if I mentioned that. They're giving away personal info, which is shitty, I think. I'm just doing I'm super into that game still. Whatever. I just feel like it's shitty because, like you said earlier, Mo, like COVID gaming benefited, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
From the whole spiel.
Absolutely.
But on the turnaround, it's like gamers are just like expecting a lot. You know what I mean? Like, yo, and I'm expecting this because I'm at my house all day and like I don't have the games that I want to play or whatever the case is. You know what I mean? But yeah, some shit is crazy out there, bro. The whole Cyberpunk thing, Avengers, just like those are the two biggest games I thought were going to be for 2020 that just ended up shitting the bed. Even though I'm still like a big supporter of them, you know what I mean? It's just like, I've never had that happen to me in gaming. And so it's like one of those things, like, I mean, I've liked Devil May Cry and I've had like people talk shit on a game that I really, really like and I see what it is or whatever. But I've never been in the situation where it's like, wow, this is weird. This is a weird, like, so what is a good game or what is high quality? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where's the measurement here? What are we talking about exactly here? Like, where is it beyond where it's like, oh, fuck no, I don't like this shit so much that I'm going to death threat you and, you know, give your info out and this kind of stuff. Like, I get it. Gaming is super big and I love it just as the next fella. But those types of things, you know what I mean? When you're like intervening real life negativity with like what gaming is, it's just like, man, you're in for it for the wrong thing. You know, it's like the clout chasing type of people who want attention for negativity. You know what I mean? Or they want that attention to where it's just like, this is weird, but I know some people will fall right into that attention and be like, oh man, you know, and I get it, but I just don't look at it as productive and I don't look at it as something that is benefiting others around you, you know. And once you start doing that, it's kind of the thing where it's like, maybe it's a little too far, guys. I don't know, you know, where's common sense end? But anyways, yeah, it does make me question, like, what is a great game? Like, where's that standard lying now? And because we're rotating on into, you know, the more common as Series X and S and PlayStation 5, that'll be more common as the time goes on. Like, you know, and that's why it's hard to expect, like, what is going to be a whole this gen game? What is that going to be like? You know what I mean? And I do feel like some of these games just got steamrolled and just like shoulder checked out of what they were supposed to be because of what happened over the years. And it's just very unfortunate. You know what I mean? But yeah, Elden Ring is something I'm super looking forward to. Like, I can't wait to hear whatever is going to happen. Super Bowl coming up, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get some very, very cool announcement then. So I don't know though, but yeah, stuff is looking interesting. You know, it's never stagnant usually. Even when it is stagnant, there's still something rustling in the bushes out back. You know what I mean? So it's very cool.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely, man. For sure. Can't fucking wait. Kevin, you got anything to add, homie?
That's it, man. I'm just I'm happy to be a gamer in 2021, and I'm excited for what we're gonna see this year. I think it's gonna be awesome.
Absolutely, baby. You said it well, both of you. All right, guys. Well, that does it for us for this week. Thank you guys for joining us, for listening to our rambles. Thank you for the support, for the retweets. It's always appreciated. And, you know, we hope you guys enjoy it this week. And we'll get another live show going soon, you know, but, you know, we'll see. Kind of, I think pre-recorded is really our element, you know, so we're looking to maybe either frequently add more live shows or maybe even pre-recorded on camera and then just post it to YouTube instead. But we'll tackle that when we get there. But for Mo and for Mike and for our guest Kevin, my man, we will talk to you guys later. Take care.
Peace.